Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Sunny, windy, and chilly. As far as our afternoon is concerned, 50 will do it for the high, but it feels colder. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy, and cold. 35 for the overnight low. Thursday, sunny, gusty winds and cold, 45. Feels colder out in that wind. 35 Thursday night. Friday, partly sunny. Lighter winds, 47 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Attention veterans and active military. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is doubling their usual veterans discount on all products and services in November. That means veterans and active military get 10% off all month at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, 10% off all doors, openers, and any service or repair. Details on their website. Schedule your annual garage door tune-up before winter really sets in. Just call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
In the state of Georgia versus Jose Antonio Ibarra, case SU 24-CR-0323, count 1, malice murder. I find the defendant guilty. Count 2, felony murder, I find the defendant guilty. Count 3, felony murder, I find the defendant guilty. Count 4, felony murder, I find the defendant guilty.
I think there was a total. Is that the full clip, Brad? It went
No.
on because I think
Yeah,
there were
there's
19 counts, and
Yeah.
I think that he was found guilty on 19 counts. As he is, I'm very, very resolved to hear that that's the case. That happened this morning, and Andy McCarthy is going to join us in 15 minutes from right now. So you're going to want to keep it right here and hear what Andy McCarthy has to say about that, as well as, this is kind of really setting the tone for me. Because we booked Andy McCarthy before the Laken Riley stuff ended up coming to fruition this morning. And when I really want to know if this Donald Trump case is going to get dismissed. Everybody says it's supposed to. I really would like to know. But Laken Riley, this young college-aged girl out for a run, murdered in a vicious, vicious way. Guilty on all counts. And it just makes the lawfare part of the Donald Trump case seem even more ridiculous. It's offensive how ridiculous it actually is. Andy McCarthy will talk about that with us at about 12:25. We're looking forward to that conversation to get to the bottom of this case and how it unfolded and how we got to this guilty verdict. The things that we discovered about Ibarra during the course of this case, flown around the country, put up in fancy, fancy hotels, provided food, provided meals. He's a member of Tren de Aragua. He's a member of a gang. And he kills this young girl who was taking a jog. It was at University of Georgia, I believe. It's just absolutely repulsive. And when you think about it, and you know how these people who have come to this country illegally, remember when Donald Trump, Ryan, you remember when in 2016, probably, I don't think it was in 2015, Donald Trump was like, there are rapists and murderers coming into our country. And the left was like, how dare you?
Mm-hmm. It was xenophobic.
When you open up the borders the way the Democrats have opened up the borders, you do not profile the people who come in here. In fact, you put them on planes and you put them up in ritzy hotels. That's the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris way. It seems kind of silly to say Kamala Harris now, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
She was in charge of the border. Call it whatever you want. We know what a border czar looks like, and we are chomping at the bit to let Tom Homan do his job. But if you want, if the left, sit down for a second, Democrats. Sit down and listen to me for just a second, and then call me all the names you want. But if you really, really want our borders to be open so people can come here for a better life, so they can pursue the American dream, don't you want them to be vetted when they come in? Because this guy is going to ruin it for the rest of them. Tom Homan, because of young, innocent girls like Laken Riley, is going to deport like you've never seen illegal immigrants deported in this country, and we are very close to that moment happening. It's November 20th. We are 2 months away from Donald Trump. We are 2 months away from Tom Homan doing what they should have done a long, long time ago. But as the saying goes, Democrats, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, everybody who led us to this point where we got to be talking about Laken Riley, we should not even know Laken Riley's name. We shouldn't be aware of who she is. Think about your child right now. Does your child have a name that's known by everybody across the country? Do you want your child's name to be known by everybody across the country? Because that's how it happened for Laken Riley's family. Laken Riley had to die for American people to wake up on both sides of the aisle and see that what the Democrats have been trying to shove down our throats is wrong? No, she didn't have to. But she did. And now we are going to react in a way that I think is going to be way more heavy-handed than it ever would have been beforehand. What a sad thing for Laken Riley's family to have to understand. There's no solace in it. You can't be like, well, look what it's doing for the country. There's no solace. If it were my child, I'd take my child back in a heartbeat over all of it.
Yeah. This is a tragedy. Everybody knows that. You have to acknowledge that no matter which side of the political aisle you're on. The thing about illegal immigration that kind of gets lost, because remember in 2021 when Jim Carafano came on the show and he goes, look, it's March. I'm telling you, this is going to be a huge problem.
On
and we were all like, oh, boy, this sounds like something that we should keep an eye on. And then within a month, everybody was talking about it, and the problem has not gone away. It's still happening now. We're still talking about it. There are so many political issues, economy, for instance. There are things you should do and you shouldn't do, but there's a lot of nuance. There's like, we got to make this decision at the right time. Got to do this with the interest rates. With illegal immigration, there is no confusion about how to handle that issue. You just don't allow illegal immigration. That's it. You allow legal immigration where you can vet people, and you don't allow illegal immigration. It's that easy, and it is a political problem manufactured by Democrats.
Yeah, and they have a purpose. They're not just looking the other way. They're looking squarely at it. They think that this is going to somehow benefit them politically. There's no other explanation for it. They haven't been commenting this entire past 4 years about how great their immigration system is, how wonderful things have been going. They've looked the other way. They've looked the other way because they know it's wrong, but they also know in their minds that they benefit from it. But I'm not so sure that they end up benefiting from this. At this point, this country, yes, to use the Democrat point, is made of immigrants. But not like this. This is not how this country was formed. I saw a X post this morning, and it said something like, the poor in this country, it talks about the illegal immigrants who are here in this country. A lot of that money that goes into the federal government goes out to help those people. And then the wealthy in this country get tax breaks and loopholes and benefits, and all, they benefit from the tax system that way. But the middle class funds all of it. The middle class is paying for all of this. Does that mean that businesses shouldn't be encouraged to thrive in the United States of America? Well, when you listen to Donald Trump talk about putting tariffs, especially when he talks about mirrored tariffs, what do you tax when we trade into your country? We'll do the same. Like, we do what you do. I think that's a brilliant policy, because one of two things is going to happen. They're going to have to pay more money to ship their goods in, equal to what we pay to ship our goods in, or it's going to cost less for us to ship goods into their countries. When you look at the way President Trump is addressing the economic climate in the United States of America, he's trying to create a pro-job environment, one where the jobs that are created aren't from government. Joe Biden's job creation that he's had in this country has been government jobs. That's not good, because who pays for those government jobs? The people who have those government jobs. The American people are the ones who pay for that. The Democrats, when they had the keys to the kingdom, used it to grow government as much as they possibly could to benefit government run by Democrats. That's the game. And America showed up in the beginning of November and said, yeah, we've had enough of that. Our country is not safe anymore. We don't feel safe running on trails on our college campuses anymore, because you're getting murdered by illegal immigrants who were flown here by the United States government. And they have no explanation whatsoever as to why we need to be doing these things. This guy, how old is he? I don't know what his age is, but he's like, what do they keep saying? Military-aged men. He's in a gang. He is living a better lifestyle than many, 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 many veterans who are on the streets right now because they went and fought in a war. They have PTSD. They come home and they can't put their life back together. And we say, you just sit right there, and we're going to fly immigrants into our country and put them up in fancy hotels while they are members of gangs and they're killing our young girls? What in God's name are we doing right now in this country if we are not making that our number one priority? First and foremost, yes, we need to make the economy great again in this country, but we have to make it safe again. J.D. Vance during the campaign said it so well. I don't remember which interview he was doing. It was a 60 Minutes or something like that. And they were like, They were like, well, that was only one or two places that Venezuelan gangs were taking over in Colorado. And he's like, listen to yourself. One or two places? How many would raise the alarm for you?
Yeah. Yeah, and then it happened in Nashville right after that. And these issues they're amazing because Trump, he says things that just cut right to the core, and they cut through all the noise.
No bologna sausage.
He said this months ago, and people go, oh, come on. And then you watch this happen. He goes, look, they're emptying out their prisons in Venezuela. They're emptying out their prisons in other nations. They're sending their gang members here because they don't want to deal with them. And they know that we will, and it'll be on our tax dollar then. And now, how much proof do you need that this is happening?
If the Republicans miss the opportunity in their first 100 days to eliminate everything that we can with the power that the Republicans have been entrusted with in this past election, they need to go all in on course correcting the damage that the Democrats have done to this country in the last 4 years. But I'll even add to that. It's not as though the Democrats hadn't had policy success with their ridiculously ignorant woke bullcrap that they've been pushing through ever since Barack Obama was in office. Mr. Fundamentally transformed the United States of America. How do you feel right now? Do you know the name Laken Riley? Because this one goes back to that idea of America being what Hillary Clinton called, she dreamed of a borderless country. Oh, so we can all hold hands together and sing Kumbaya. No, I think you just want a larger tax base. I think you want larger geographic locations to rule and reign. Ask the people of Haiti how Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton had treated them. The only way to be as generous with the world responsibly as America traditionally is if we put America first. We did not put America first when Jose Ibarra came into this country. The Democrats put the Democrats first, and it cost Laken Riley her life. And 19 counts found guilty later. We will find out what this man's sentence is. We will find out what the United States justice system, what is justice here? Think about that for a second. What is justice? If you're Laken Riley's mom right now, if I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about my daughter being gone, there is no satisfying verdict or sentence that can be read right now. There's no justice. The American government aided and abetted in the death of Laken Riley in their absolute absconding behavior regarding what took place leading up to her death. And they did it all for political gain. That's the repulsive part about all of this. They did it for themselves. And Laken Riley, collateral damage to the Democrats. Collateral damage. There will be a new sheriff in town, not soon enough if you ask me. But remember today, remember this moment. On January 20th, Donald J. Trump is going to be sworn back into office, and it's going to start moving fast. It's going to make the left go bonkers crazy. They're going to start talking about, oh, the poor immigrants and the children. And what about our children? What about Laken Riley? When we start doing what we should have done, when we start correcting the error of our ways that honestly exists before the Democrats came in and lit the whole thing on fire, when it starts getting the rubber on the road, remember today, remember what it would be like to watch Laken Riley's parents sit there, her college roommates sit there and watch whatever the sentencing is going to be for Jose Ibarra. Are they going to feel justice that day? The answer is no, because there's no justice that can be provided to these people who don't have their daughter any longer. There's no sense of justice that's going to be provided to them. What the American government can do is enforce the laws that are on the books and make sure that we don't learn some other innocent girl's name nationwide because another situation like this took place. And on January 20th, it's going to start going fast. And people are going to freak out. Just understand, they put us in the position to have to do this, and America said, go for it. We need you. Do what you do, Donald Trump. Andy McCarthy is going to talk to us when we come back. Get his reaction to the Laken Riley situation, 19 guilty verdicts on Jose Ibarra, the illegal immigrant gang member who's here in our country, who killed Laken Riley, maybe even in a gang initiation thing. I'm not even 100% sure what materialized there. We're also going to ask him about Donald Trump's cases, but we'll get to the Laken Riley stuff first. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Retirement Advisory Group online at retirementkey.com. Please consider making that phone call here. Everyone's kind of looking forward at the economy, at what's going to be happening in the next 4 years. You might be asking yourself about the possibility of retirement now, and maybe if the election would have gone a different way, you'd be thinking, I guess I'm going to have to keep working. I don't know. I don't know what your situation is. I'm 40. I'm not retiring yet. But I do know that the people who are nearing retirement, there are some moves that you need to make in that transitionary period to make sure that you protect yourself. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. When you reach out to Retirement Advisory Group and you talk to Bob and Tammy Kershaw, you talk to Thomas Helbig, and you have your personalized conversation with them, doesn't cost you a thing to set up this appointment. You can have a free, no-cost, no-obligation retirement review and then decide for yourself if you want to continue a partnership with them. They'd be happy to work with you. You just got to set up an appointment at 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. We are thrilled to announce that the Mid-America Carpenters Union is offering up to $10,000 cash to close to all McKelvey homebuyers. Use these dollars for closing costs, upgrades, or buy down your interest rate. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to own a beautifully crafted home with McKelvey legendary quality. Act fast. This offer is first come, first serve. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Fall weather is on its way. Time to schedule your heating system check to make sure you heat your home safely. Schedule your heating system check today at aircomfortservice.com.
The Trump presidency is coming into focus. Keep it here for every twist and turn, because the updates are happening fast. 97.1 FM Talk. The vision and strategy for 2025 is here. This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The question is, what happens to President-elect Trump's sentencing that is scheduled for next week? And here, what we're learning is that the district attorney has made it clear they're going to reject and try to defend against any effort to dismiss this case, but they are open to delaying this sentencing for up to 4 years because they understand that it's going to take time to litigate this issue of the future of this case. So they do not agree to dismiss this case, but while that question is being litigated, they understand that the sentencing has to be paused. So President-elect Trump will not be sentenced next week. And the next step is the two parties will litigate this issue. And again, they understand that the sentencing, if it goes forward, may not happen for another 4 years.
So, oh my gosh, are we going to be waiting for Donald Trump to be sentenced after he gets out of the Oval Office? Are you serious right now? That seems absurd, I would say. We're also watching right now the sentencing in the Laken Riley murder trial is supposed to be happening soon. So we're going to cover that when it is delivered because, I'm not really one to follow court trials, specifically. Of course, we've followed a lot of the Donald Trump stuff, but it's not something that I usually get too wrapped up in if there's some high-profile court proceeding.
Like outside of politics.
Yes.
Like a Casey Anthony or a Murdaugh.
The other mom, which I just was looking at that before, killer mom Susan Smith. Do you know this story?
No.
30 years after South Carolina killer mom Susan Smith was put behind bars for drowning her 2 toddler sons.
Ugh.
A board unanimously voted to deny her parole after she appeared on a Jailhouse court feed on Wednesday morning. So that happened this morning. I was listening to a little bit of this on the way in, just on regular Fox News reports, and she put him in a car and drove him into a lake. Now, it was 30 years ago. She'd like to get parole. Her quote was, "I know that what I did was horrible. I'm sorry that I put them through that. I wish I could take that back. I really do. I was just scared. I didn't know how to tell the people that love them that they would never see them again. I'm sorry. I know that's not enough, just words, but they come from my heart." And?
Yeah. I mean, gosh, that's so terrible. How do you come back from that?
I don't know. Those are the types of things, and then I read the stories and the details. I'm like, oh, that's why I don't follow these things.
Yeah.
The Laken Riley situation is a little bit different because this will, the country cares about Laken Riley. And they care about what happens to the man who did this to her. They understand that we are in a position where we have set the table for this is a ripe situation for something like this to happen to Laken Riley.
Yeah. Kyle Rittenhouse was the same. These are big, high-profile court cases, but they cross into politics.
So we wait. 19 guilty verdicts that we heard earlier today, and sentencing is going to be delivered here shortly. When we get to our guest, Andy McCarthy joins us once again, contributing editor at the National Review, host of the McCarthy Report, and a Fox News contributor. Andy, thank you so much for the time today. I guess a day for justice, it seems, in the guilty verdicts of Jose Ibarra, who murdered Laken Riley. I don't know that it would feel like justice to Laken Riley's parents, though, having heard so many of the things that should not have happened leading up to the event where he had access to kill their daughter.
It's just a horrific case, Annie. I mean, I don't have a better way of putting it. I'm sure somebody with a better way of words than I have might be able to come up with something, but your heart just breaks for the family. And there's no good answers for why this guy was in the country. I mean, he should not have been in the country. And they had like a million chances to stop him. And he's one of God knows how many others who've gotten into our country under these policies, which basically eviscerated our border. And it's all well and good to say the people who engineered those policies are now, reaping the whirlwind from it because they've been beaten in an election. But that's not a satisfactory answer to Laken Riley and her family.
No, it's not. Nothing brings her back, and that's all that they would want. In a piece that you wrote that I encourage people to check out a little bit earlier this week in the National Review that you wrote about Laken Riley, you talk about how Ibarra was, in your words, quote, encountered by border agents while illegally crossing into the United States at El Paso in September 2022. What should Americans understand about our systems that are put in place to vet people who are coming here and how they were or were not working?
Well, I think the word encounter is a good place to start. I always quote that because that's their word for it. I refer to it as a euphemism, which is probably the pleasant word for it. The word that I would actually like to describe it as we probably can't say on a family radio show. But they use the word encounter because they don't follow American law, and they don't want you to notice that. So what they're supposed to do when they encounter an illegal alien entering the country is apprehend that person and detain him until the conclusion of removal proceedings. And Congress was crystal clear about this. Even somebody who actually has a colorable legal claim to stay in the United States, even though they've crossed the border illegally, and the number of those people who actually have a legitimate claim on staying here is vanishingly small. I mean, after all, if they had a real legal claim, they would come in legally, right? What Congress said is even if you have a colorable claim, you're still supposed to be detained until you get to the end of the proceeding and the judge has found, yes, you have a colorable claim to stay. And then we can talk about the conditions of your release. But other than that, the vast majority of these people should be detained and rapidly sent out of the country. And instead, what the Biden administration has done is not only not follow the law, not detain people and hold them till the conclusion of their proceedings, they have aided and abetted people in coming to the country to the point that you can actually schedule your illegal entry into the United States with the Biden administration. They have a special app for it, where you basically make an appointment, and you go to one of various hubs in Mexico, and you make the arrangement to get in that way, and they'll process you, and then let you come through our portal. And because they've let you come through it, we're supposed to buy the fiction that you've entered legally, when in fact you're just as illegal as if you had crossed the border without using their app in the first place. And this is just an illegal parole program that Congress, which is the only one that has an authority in our system to design a program like this, has never signed off on it. So this is something that Biden just flat made up, and yet they've been doing it for 4 years.
Well, as you said, the American people have spoken and said we need to do this differently, and that will happen. Just not soon enough for Laken Riley and her family, which is the real tragedy here. I'm glad we were able to talk to you about this because we actually booked you initially to talk about the Donald Trump trial. Trump lawyers today have demanded the Bragg case be immediately dismissed and says that the election supersedes political motivations. In light of waiting on the sentencing for the Laken Riley justice that we are awaiting, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the state of these trials in New York. What do you think about where they are right now and what each side is trying to get done?
Well, I don't think much of Trump's motion legally. It's a political claim, and it's true that Bragg is politically motivated, but the status of President of the United States is not a defense to a criminal charge. And I think President Trump would be on solid ground if he was asking for a postponement of the sentence. And he's on solid ground if he wants to proceed to appeal. Of course, he'd have to be sentenced and formally found guilty before he could do that. And then he could pursue his appellate rights and try to get the case thrown out. And I think there's probably about 10 grounds for throwing it out. But you can't – I just don't think he's going to get anywhere coming in and saying, the voters have spoken, therefore you must dismiss the case. An election is not a reason to throw out a guilty verdict as a matter of law. Now, you could argue, and they do argue, that as a matter of prosecutorial discretion, at this point, it would be in the public interest for Bragg to dismiss the case because we shouldn't want a new president to be under this burden. Bragg obviously knows that there's a lot of problems with the case, and he'll have trouble if he ever has to eventually defend it on appeal. And it does seem kind of ridiculous to freeze the thing in place with the eye toward, in 2029, when President Trump is 83 and a twice-elected American president, hopefully coming off a successful term in office, no prosecutor in his right mind would want to pick up that case and run with it at that point. So there's a lot of good reasons for common sense to prevail and for prosecutorial discretion to be exercised in a way that would dismiss the case. But from Bragg's point of view, and this is, I had some arguments with people on my own side about this because they wanted to pick Democrats as kind of a monolith, and they want to say Democrats have learned the valuable lesson that lawfare blew up on them. It turned out that the voting public didn't like it, and they punished them for it at the ballot box. That may be true of national Democrats. It's not true of Manhattan Democrats. Kamala Harris defeated Trump in Manhattan by 65 points. There was polling in the New York Post, I think 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, that shows that Bragg is a prohibitive favorite to win re-election when he's up for re-election next year. He ran the last time promising that if he got elected, he would basically do what he did, which is get Trump. And he brought cases not only against Trump, but Trump's organization, his chief financial officer. That's very popular with progressive Democrats in Manhattan, and they will probably reward Bragg with re-election. So, it's one thing to say that lawfare was bad for Democrats generally. Lawfare has been really good for Alvin Bragg.
I'm thinking as I'm listening to you explain that, and jurisdictions and, the constituency is so important here, because when you're talking about Manhattan and the people there and how they support what has been taking place, I'm looking over at the District of Columbia presidential votes. Kamala Harris got 92.4% of the votes. Donald Trump got 6.7%. And then I'm thinking to myself, all of these court cases that have been brought against Donald Trump, where are they happening? Why are they happening there? And watching Alvin Bragg and the litigators in New York bring federal cases and shove it into this type of a district. I mean, it seems as though there's a lot of sense behind what they're trying to do. You said earlier, common sense could prevail. Knowing all of the players here, do you anticipate that this part, the Alvin Bragg thing, will continue throughout the course of Donald Trump's presidency, or will common sense eventually find its way to the surface?
No, I think that the Bragg case will continue because he has an advantage that Jack Smith didn't, and that is he got his case to trial, and he won the jury trial, which puts him in a very different spot. Smith has the problem that with the federal prosecutions, they're bound by longstanding Justice Department guidance that says a sitting president can't be indicted or prosecuted. So you couldn't do anything with those criminal cases now. I think the Justice Department sensibly has decided we're going to dismiss these cases rather than hold them in abeyance or suspend them, because they know that starting January 20th, Trump is going to be running the Justice Department. So Trump would dismiss the cases if Biden's people didn't do it now. But that case is in a different posture because it never got to trial. The Atlanta case is in a different posture because it never got to trial. Bragg got to trial and he won, and he doesn't want to give that up. And, from a public interest perspective, you can be very critical of that. I think an American should not want, if it could be avoided, a president under the cloud of an eventual criminal sentencing. And you would hope that the DA would look at this and say, well, a lot of errors in the case, and then the Supreme Court, he has an out, right? The Supreme Court decided the immunity case a month after the trial.
Yeah.
So he could even not confess error. He could say, look, when the court decided the case, it changed the landscape, so we're going to fold our tent now. He'd still have his jury verdict. No one's ever going to be able to take that away from him, right? He'll always be able
Put it
to
on
use
his
that
mantle.
politically. But it's not good enough. He wants to, he wants to keep it. And Trump really doesn't have a legal right until appeal to get it thrown out unless Judge Merchan throws it out. But if Judge Merchan throws it out, that would be the first time in years that he's ruled against Bragg and in favor of Trump. So I'm not holding my breath waiting for that to happen.
Just a real simple question before we let you go. We're speaking with Andy McCarthy right now. Is Donald Trump a convicted felon right now?
No. This is a great question, and it's been confused a lot because of the Democrats' campaign rhetoric. The way it works in the criminal law, if you want to call him a convicted felon, I suppose politically you can do that. But as a matter of law, in the criminal law, there is no judgment of conviction until the defendant is sentenced. So right now what we have are jury findings of guilty, and Trump has made post-trial motions to get those vacated, the guilty verdicts, and the judge hasn't ruled on that yet. So there hasn't been sentencing, and most importantly, the judgment of conviction has not been entered on the court record. So Trump is not a convicted felon. That would not happen until sentencing, and I think that's part of the reason that Trump may be content with having this thing suspended for 4 years, because as long as he hasn't been sentenced, he doesn't enter the White House as a convicted felon.
All right. Well, I'm glad you were able to clear that up for us. We're going to share that little comment far and wide. Andy McCarthy, it's so great to have you on the show with us. We always appreciate you giving us all this legal expertise. It clears a lot of stuff up for us, and we're thankful for it. Thank you
Thanks so
much,
Andy. I appreciate it.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye. Andy McCarthy is a contributing editor at National Review. His article, which you can check out right now, Lake and Riley murder trial underway in Georgia. It's such an easy read. It's like a page and a half printed out. And do you know how many times this guy's been involved in being apprehended or detained by law enforcement? And they just let him go. We brought him here. We moved him around the country. Jose Ibarra was basically our guest. We hosted him. And then he killed a young girl. This all under Joe Biden's watch. Something big has to change, and thank the Lord in heaven 2 months from today. Change is coming. It's coming in hot as well. Quick break. When we come back, Wiggins America is going to help us handle our next performance review. This is why you're here, isn't it? This is why you come to the Annie Fry Show. Your next performance review, is it coming up? A new year is coming. Do you get it at the end of the year? Are you going to get it at the beginning of the year? Ryan Wiggins' advice on how to handle that the best. Next. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
So Air Comfort Service is in the business of helping you with your HVAC system. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. The truth is that if your house isn't in the winter here, cold fall evenings, if it's not heating correctly, you're thinking, gosh, what's wrong with the furnace? Then you go put your hand by the vent and you do feel that warm air coming out and you're like, gosh, I think the furnace has been running all day. Air Comfort Service can help you fix this problem that might not be at all your furnace system. It might be leaky ductwork or insufficient attic insulation. These are other things that are supposed to be kept in your home and maintained or checked that help keep the heat that you're pumping into your house in your house. If you need to check into an AeroSeal duct sealing, I've had it done in my house, and it made a world of difference in our ability to heat the floors on our home evenly and to not have to run our furnace, which we eventually had to replace as well with Air Comfort Service, to have to run it all day long. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
We have another pair of tickets to give away to Guns N' Hoses.
It's that exciting.
Yeah,
I couldn't wait to tell you.
I'm like, Tony, come on. I got to get to Guns N' Roses. So that is next Wednesday. If you don't win tickets or you can't get in, actually, what I'm hearing is that they may be sold out or it's real close. So this may be the only way you can get tickets now is to win them. We're going to give away these in the 2 o'clock hour. Also, today's YouTube live chat poll, do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks? It is 12:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
We love Guns N' Hoses, and that's why we're going to be the first station to ever broadcast Guns N' Hoses the day before Thanksgiving. Mark Cox here. It's November 27th at the Enterprise Center. Tickets and info are at 971talk.com.
This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! Well, yesterday I gave you some advice on how to look busy at work if you're not that busy.
And in no sense of irony whatsoever, we now talk about performance reviews.
Today, we're going to talk about what to do and say at your next performance review.
If all of those pieces of advice didn't work.
Right. And again, yesterday was to make sure that everybody else is working. I trust that you are, but you want to be the person in the room pointing at other people's flaws.
Me?
No,
Oh.
everybody.
Oh.
This is what I'm trying to tell everybody to do.
He got in trouble with Mark this morning.
That's true.
Did you?
Yeah. Mark goes, brought me up in that segment, did you?
Was he listening?
He was listening.
Oh, no. He's not supposed to listen. You're supposed to be napping right now, Mark.
That's what I said.
Cox. We've got too many Marks.
Why are you listening to the show? You should be taking a nap, enjoying yourself. But no, he was listening because he wanted to know how to be a better employee.
When he's out, they should call that show Missed the Mark. Go on. I just had an idea.
Yeah.
Putting that out there. One of you should take it first. We'll see who thinks it's a better idea.
Yeah, we'll see. So these are things that you can do at your next performance review, should you have one, because people think you're not actually working at work.
I wonder how much performance reviews still even occur. I don't want to give anyone here any ideas, but
I don't know. I could see them being very common still, or nobody does them.
I haven't had many.
We do air checks and stuff, but even those we don't do very often.
An air check, that's industry terminology for our boss listens to us do, like, I don't know, this segment and then tells us why we should have done better.
It's a performance
which
review.
is really meta for what we're supposed to be talking about right now.
If I am listening to this in my boss's office later,
Which you will be then, but not now, because it will be that soon.
I'm telling you right now, Ryan, leave the room. Because
just talk about how great Steve is.
either the rest of the
Throw it in
segment either is not going to be very good, which is why you brought it up, or it's going to be good, but then how do you talk about that? Because it's going to be awkward. Just leave.
How can you do more with this?
You can't.
Or how do you do less of this?
Yeah, I think my performance review is, Ryan, you have maxed out your talent. And I'm not sure how I feel about that.
You're like, so A+?
Is that good? You're not going any higher than this, buddy. All right. This is the first thing it says, and this is from Career Addict, by the way.
There are more websites on the internet.
I couldn't wait to say that. By the way,
is that even a real place?
It's from Career Addict.
You are a career addict. You need an intervention. Somebody help this guy.
Number 1, when you sit down with your boss, talk about your achievements. Discussing your achievements.
These are just things you do.
Is a good way. Is a good way to impress your boss and highlight what you've been up to since your last meeting.
I feel like Ryan might be a staff writer over there. At,
So you're
what's it
supposed to
called?
go sit, career addict, just sit in your boss's office and be like, so let's talk about the good things I'm doing. You're going to lead with that?
Mm-hmm.
No,
That's what
you're
it
not.
says.
No, I'm not.
One thing you don't bring up in a performance review, and this is just bonus, don't bring up your secondary career as a writer for a Career Addict.
You're writing this right now. This is voice to text.
It's great. It's good stuff. Number 2, talk about a raise.
Is this real?
This is real. If you want to bring up the topic of a salary review, now is the perfect time to ask.
In a performance review.
However, we advise against saying something blunt and tactless like, can I have a raise? I don't know
what are you supposed to be like?
Blunt and tactless.
Just like wink, wink, nudge, nudge?
I don't know that it's telling you exactly how to ask for a raise.
Sit down and say, hey, money man.
But if I were to suggest, I'd say, hey, how about those raises we've all been hearing about? Something like that.
Nobody's been hearing about them.
Yeah. Or you ever heard about a raise?
No.
Maybe something like that instead of can I have a raise? That's just coming right out with the clause. All right, next one. Now I'm going to skip that one. I don't like that one.
No, say it. Now I want to know.
Ask about the development of the business.
I don't like
How's
that
this
one
place
either.
doing?
Skip that one.
Maybe ask that one before the raise question.
I questioned your judgment, which is usually the right call. It was not the right
But you
call.
agreed. Give feedback.
Go back to the raise part.
give feedback to your manager.
What?
Let your manager know how he or she is doing.
Oh my gosh.
This is from Career Addict.
This is get a new career addict because we just got you fired.
Ask for clarifications. If there's something you don't understand, it's perfectly fine to ask for clarifications. For example, if you're discussing a new project that you're taking on, be sure to ask for clear instructions. Why am I being put on this?
This doesn't seem like this is in your best judgment.
You sure about me and this one? You know, I'm pretty busy. Just want a little clarification.
Yeah,
what
walking
you're
around making
expecting
sure
here.
everyone's doing real work.
Yeah. 9, discuss your future. So if you've been in the same position for a while, your career may begin to stagnate, which is bad for both you and your employer. So ask.
Not necessarily bad for your employer. If you're doing what they need to do and they can get away with just paying you that, that's fine.
I got to agree with you there.
That's
your
like,
employer's like, you doing the job?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Stay right where you are.
But you may want to ask for
Hey.
yourself,
Hey.
what kind of opportunities do I
I'll
have
let you know
here?
Nate Foy is
Stop
doing
doing
some
that.
reporting.
Stop doing that. This is off-air jokes. We
Side
can't bring
note,
those on air.
Ryan's a big fan of Nate Foy, the reporter.
Look, no, okay, fine. If we're going to go there now, rest the whole segment's going to be Nate Foy.
Yeah.
All right, here's what happened. Yesterday, Annie mentioned something about Nate Foy, and I assumed that she was talking about him because he's an attractive guy.
I talk about men without even considering how attractive they may be.
And I'm like, oh, okay, because he's a hot guy or something like that. And you said
I
that's
didn't-
not all what I was saying.
I didn't bring him up. He was on.
He was on TV. He was on the TV.
Walk into the room and be like, Nate Foy.
Hey, Nate Foy. All right.
No.
I didn't either, But now apparently I'm associated with being very attracted to Nate Foy.
You said he was hot.
Yeah, because I figured that's why you were talking about him. He's a hot guy. As I think I said something along those lines.
How many times in this room, how much time have you and I spent together? How many years have you and I been in this room together?
5 or 6.
5 or 6 years. How many times in those 5 or 6 years have I walked in and just openly talked about how hot I thought some random guy was?
I think it's time to sort of break down that barrier.
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
Because I know you're thinking it. And so I'm just trying to get you to open up a little bit and be like, yeah, okay, that's a hot guy.
I know the times that we're living in.
Uh-huh.
I am not a dude. I don't think like that.
Okay.
That's not part of the process.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is all learning for me then. You know, if I see a guy on TV, I'm like, I bet women think he's attractive. I'm going to say that out loud.
You can try to look like Nate Foy. He's going to come in tomorrow in a suit.
Nate Foy is somebody we could probably interview, so this is a little awkward.
Yeah, he's offered to us like every day.
Don't take that. That's going to be a weird interview if you do it now.
Brad, the next time Nate Foy is on the two-ways, tell me what the subject is, and I will do my research.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm so in for that.
No.
I'm going to tell him, too.
Put it
I'm
as
gonna
hot
tell
guy
him.
in the byline.
I'm going to tell him. I'm just going to say
/hot guy.
Fox News Radio reporter, Ryan Wiggins, certified hot guy.
Oh, that's going to be weird.
Yeah, it is. I can't wait.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com. Whether or not we are talking about beautiful Techwood Plus hardwood looking floor, beautiful, beautiful, great value at Michael's Flooring Outlet as well, or the Mohawk Smart Strand with superior performance. When you put carpet in your home, you want to make sure carpet can handle the life you're going to live on it. I love carpeting in homes. Sometimes it goes in and out of style, whatever. For me, I always love it, but you want to invest in something that is going to handle, like I said, the life you live on it, the kids that are going to be on top of it, the pets that you're going to have in your home. You want to make sure that it's going to be able to handle all of that, and that superior performance with the Mohawk Smart Strand line of carpeting at Michael's Flooring Outlet is going to help you get that job done. If you're interested in shopping for flooring this holiday season especially, go to Michael's Flooring Outlet and see what they have for you to check out. They have the best staff in the business. There are 3 locations across St. Louis, but you can visit them online right now at igotfloored.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Fox News Alert. A killer is sentenced in Georgia. I'm Lisa Brady. Just a few hours after a judge convicted Jose Ibarra of killing nursing student Laken Riley, he has just sentenced him to life in prison without parole. This after victim impact statements, friends describing how Riley was a light in the world and how losing her and the way she was killed have affected them.
I can't do anything by myself anymore, even in broad daylight. I get to tell you that a town I used to love being in just fills me with dread.
Another friend so overcome, her prepared statement was read for her.
I will never be able to come to terms with the fact that I was sitting in class just down the road, going about my day, the morning this horrific event was taking place.
Riley's mother calling Ibarra a monster. Prosecutors say he killed Riley while she was out running. The judge finding him guilty on all 10 counts, including murder, kidnapping, and attempted rape. Ibarra entered the U.S. illegally in 2022 and was allowed to stay while pursuing his immigration case. President-elect Trump just posting he hopes today's verdict can help bring some peace and closure to Riley's family and that it's time to secure the border. Parole is denied for Susan Smith, who pleaded for mercy today after 30 years in prison for killing her children.
She's the South Carolina mother who in 1994 drowned her 2 young sons in her car, blaming a fictitious black man, prompting an unneeded manhunt.
It's been a tough 30 years.
David Smith, her former husband and father to the deceased Michael and Alex, along with the family and former prosecutors, appeared before the parole board today in advance of a possible release.
She came pretty close to causing me to end my life because of the grief that she brought upon me.
The parole board denied the request, but it can be revisited in 2 years.
Fox's Eben Brown. The State Department just confirming the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine's capital will reopen tomorrow after a closure today over security concerns. America's listening to Fox News.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Sunny, windy, and chilly. As far as our afternoon is concerned, 50 will do it for the high, but it feels colder. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy, and cold. 35 for the overnight low. Thursday, sunny, gusty winds and cold, 45. Feels colder out in that wind. 35 Thursday night. Friday, partly sunny. Lighter winds, 47 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We went to Ruler Foods last night after basketball to pick up my husband. We were driving home. He's like, oh, I should stop by there and get some stuff. And I just started doing a commercial for him. I'm like, I know that they have Jack's Pizzas that are 3 for $10. And I just started listing off all of the different things that were for sale there because we almost treat it like it's going through the drive-thru, only the amount of money that we save by driving through essentially Ruler Foods in Collinsville on the way home. It's exponentially cheaper to go do that, obviously. And then on top of everything, the different discounts that they have available for you. They have cheese, shredded cheese. They also have cheese by the bar. We get a ton of that in our house, 3 for $5 when you buy 3. Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and A&W Root Beer 12 packs, 4 for $16 when you buy 4. But right now is when you need to get to Ruler Foods and start stocking up for that Thanksgiving meal. That's next week, folks. It's next week. You can save on everything you need. Everything you need for that Thanksgiving meal at Ruler Foods. They have for under $5 per person, feeding 8 people, you can get all the things you need from Ruler Foods. The discounts are available and listed for you online, but when you walk into Ruler Foods, everything you get is going to be listed at a lower price than you're usually used to paying. So go online, find the Ruler Foods closest to you for the Thanksgiving meal this year. Your name brands, the Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices that you love, rulerfoods.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best.
Onder Law. Heard on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too, to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose, paid for by Bayer.
All this week, 97.1 wants to send you to Guns N' Hoses. Listen to the Mark Cox Morning Show, the Annie Fry Show, and the Mark Reardon Show for chances to win every day. All this week on 97.1. Keep it here.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
People have probably spoken on how they feel about Donald Trump, but they've definitely spoken on how they feel about Mitch McConnell. And he's right now not representing the majority of the American people, if that is something that he's willing to do, to really thwart the will of the people via Donald Trump. It's unfortunate that that's the way he thinks he's going to operate. But I would say that that the American people always have an option here. And you can vote these people out. Maybe you want to send a loud and clear message to them. If they are not doing what you think is right, call up your senator, call up, whoever it is in your local district and make your voice heard and make it loud and clear to them how you feel about these appointments Donald Trump has put forward and that they should be confirmed.
So Laura Trump there, potentially the next senator from the state of Florida, if Ron DeSantis chooses to put her in that position to replace Marco Rubio. Should Marco Rubio be confirmed to the United States Senate? I don't think there will be any problem with that. We have a YouTube live chat poll for today that is about these recess appointment confirmations that are being talked about quite a bit. Do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks? You have three choices. Yes, for all of them. If they went in and did a recess appointment confirmation for every single person Donald Trump appointed, you would be, or nominated, you'd be fine with that. That's yes for all. Yes for some. If you think that there are, like Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, he's been in Congress and we don't need to spend days and days or whatever it might be in confirmation hearing processes with the United States Senate being tied up with that, and we can get that through. You're okay with something like that. But you don't really want to see the Secretary of Defense or the Attorney General or the Secretary of State, these really, really high profile in the line of succession positions be appointed through a recess appointment. You would say yes for some. Or you might say no. Nobody should be confirmed by a recess appointment, which I would remind you that all presidents have some recess appointments they get through. They're just usually not high profile enough to really crack the surface. And I got to be honest, I think that people are paying attention to the way our government works and functions now more than ever. There are people who are being outraged about recess appointments right now that didn't even know that the Senate had the opportunity to confirm or not confirm these individuals.
Yeah. That's actually where I'm at on this poll is no for now, because I don't know that much about recess appointments. I'm going to, though, make the case that I could change my mind on this based on circumstance, because I'm learning, I think, along with everybody else about how this whole process works. It's amazing how many people we've talked to about recess appointments and how many different opinions there are about how they even work. So how this whole process plays out will be interesting to watch.
You're a no?
I'm a no for now.
I'm a some, because I think that the process of trying to slow walk some of these things just for the sake of the Democrats doing everything they can to slow everything down. I'm for some recess appointments. I'm not opposed to recess appointments, but I am opposed to the idea of these high profile. If you're in the line of succession, I think that you should have to be vetted, and I think that the vetting should go quickly. I don't think that there should be a lot of song and dance around it if it's not for good cause. And the fact that you disagree with policy doesn't mean that you should disagree with the appointment per se. Like if you have an actual, there are a lot of awful allegations that are out there about Matt Gaetz that might make somebody say that the person doesn't have the character to be confirmed, but those allegations also might be false. And if they might be false, that is worthy of the vetting process, in my opinion, for sure. But I don't think that you should be, the Secretary of State comes after the President pro tem in the line of succession. So that makes it President, Vice President, Speaker of the House, President pro tem, Secretary of State. Fifth in line to the presidency. All due diligence needs to be made to ensure that that person is, from a character standpoint, capable of doing the job. Now, Marco Rubio's constituents just put him back. The state of Florida just put him back in the Senate 2 cycles ago. Not this one, but the last one, I think. Mm-hmm. With pretty much overwhelming support in that 2022 year where Republicans did not fare so well. Marco Rubio and Florida did just fine for Republicans. But the nation should have the opportunity. Senators from Missouri and Illinois should have the opportunity to say, yeah, thumbs up, this guy can do the job. And if you just disagree with his policy, you're not going to find somebody from Donald Trump's appointments that's going to be in line with your policy. You can question different things, and you should have the opportunity to hear their answer. But if the person is serving at the pleasure of the president and is looking to enact the president's policy, Democrats can vote no, and all the Republicans can vote yes, and there you go. He's confirmed. What do you think, Brad?
Well, I'm with Ryan on this one. I'm a no. I reserve the right to change my opinion, but as I sit now, no. I'm with you on the Matt Gaetz thing. There's allegations against Matt Gaetz, but I also know there was a DOJ investigation into those allegations, and they found nothing. So I think that he deserves his chance to go before.
We don't know that they found nothing.
They decided not to prosecute.
But they did drop the charges. And in this world that we live in, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Well, in this world we live in, you think that if they found anything against any high-profile Republican, the Democrat DOJ would have gone after it.
Right.
They didn't.
And that's kind of what my thoughts were, too. It's like this was a pelt that if the Biden DOJ could have nailed to the wall, they absolutely would have. So my question is why didn't they, if they had all this evidence and this is so true? So I think Matt Gaetz deserves his chance to go before the Senate and declare why he should be the next AG. And then up or down vote. I'm not interested in slow walking stuff, and if it looks like there's funny business in games, that's where I would change my vote to yes some, because if it looks like somebody's playing games with this, then I'm past that. But I think right now the Trump administration needs to prove that they're on the up and up, that they're going to do this, and they're going to say, hey, we're going to do this through all the right channels, and we want our people in there, and that's what the American people want.
Amy makes an interesting comment on YouTube. She said, I said no, but only because I heard they're only temporary. So you're just delaying the drama, but it should also not take more than a month to get a cabinet approved. It's a 2-year cycle. So come the next cycle, the next Congress, I believe, that is when the recess appointment is up.
Whereas if it went through the process, it's not a 2-year cycle.
You serve at the pleasure of the
right?
president. You're there as long as the president wants you to be there.
See, that to me is a reason to just go forward with getting these through the normal nomination process.
If you're serious about them doing the job, the duration of the job, then yeah.
You brought up an interesting point yesterday that I hadn't. Apparently, this is being kicked around on the socials. And I hadn't thought of it. Yeah,
before you say that, if people want to weigh in on this, 314-241-9797. Let's take your phone calls on this YouTube live chat poll for today. We get some listeners on here. Do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump cabinets? Yes for all, yes for some, or no? 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Give us a call. We'll put some of those folks on. Go ahead, Ryan.
I don't know how wide the list is, but there's a list of Republicans who supported Merrick Garland for Attorney General. Now, those Republicans are going to get a lot of heat if they don't support Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. I understand that. But it brings up a bigger issue. Let's say you're a Republican in 2021, and you're having to confirm Democrat appointees. And the reverse is true right now of Democrats confirming Republican appointees. Do you take the line of, well, some of these people I disagree, just like you just said, I disagree with their overall philosophy, but they haven't done anything wrong, so I have to at least hear them out. I'm going to vote for them just because that's the way we've always done it? Or do you say, I disagree with the way Democrats run things so much, so fundamentally, that I can't even vote for a normal Democrat because the way they approach everything is so much different than I would hope? You know, it's an interesting spot for a senator to be in nowadays.
The Daily Signal has an article out just a couple days ago. 20 Republican senators voted to confirm Merrick Garland in 2021. 20. Here they are in alphabetical order. Roy Blunt of Missouri.
Oh.
Richard Burr of North Carolina. Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia. Is that how you say her name? Capito, I think. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. Susan Collins. Shush. Susan Collins of Maine. Don't do this for every single name I say.
Collins.
Shush. John Cornyn of Texas. Joni Ernst of Iowa. Lindsey Graham. Does these names sound, are these surprising?
No.
Chuck Grassley of Iowa. Jim Inhofe of Oklahoma. Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. James Lankford of Oklahoma. Mitch McConnell of Kentucky. Jerry Moran of Kansas. Lisa Murkowski, Arkansas. That's not right. It's Alaska. It says Arkansas, but she's definitely from Alaska. I'm correcting the Daily Signal live on air. Rob Portman of Ohio. Mitt Romney of Utah. Ooh, shocking. Mike Rounds of South Dakota. John Thune of South Dakota. And Tom Tillis of North Carolina. So, yes, Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Merrick Garland, but no Matt Gaetz? Tell me more.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask. And this should be asked of those senators.
314-241-9797. If you want to weigh in on this topic, we'd love to hear from you. 314-241-9797. Michael, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think?
I think they should temporary every single one because we know there's at least some Republicans who are openly saying that they don't like President Trump and they're going to side with the Democrats, which automatically means...
Which one of those Republicans, like who are you thinking those Republicans might be?
Well, the McConnell guy, and then, I was watching Fox News last night, and I didn't know the names, but I know Mitch McConnell would be one, just because he's sour over his spilt milk.
Yeah.
But so we have a majority of 3, I think it is right now. So if we lose 6, even if the rest of the Republicans are America First Republicans, having 6 that aren't, then take who knows how long. So temporary all of them. And then you can work on getting it done the right way once people start seeing, because they can start the process, the regular process, anytime in that 2-year period.
After the recess appointment is made.
Right. That's my understanding.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it, Michael. He's ready to get going. I mean, I want Mitch McConnell on record. I want him to have to say no while all of the rest of these people say yes.
I do too, but I don't think he cares anymore.
I don't think he would say no. He came out and endorsed Trump after all was said and done. All Mitch McConnell has left to do is to maybe make a little trouble leading into... Hey, do you think the people of Kentucky, the people also represented by Rand Paul, want Mitch McConnell to vote no against Donald Trump's cabinet appointments?
No, but I just don't think he is going to care. He has nothing to lose now. He's never going to run again. He's done. I think his whole point now is to do what he thinks is best for Mitch McConnell, which, could be, well, the way he sees things anyway, maybe not personally best for him. But I could see him throwing a wrench in a whole lot of things just because he is like, no, this isn't the way we usually do it.
It's like John McCain at the end of his...
Yeah.
But out of great disdain for Donald Trump. I think I just see it differently than you do. I don't think he would do that. I think Mitch McConnell, who has in his lifetime been incredibly politically aware, he knows that he is not in the center of this party anymore. He is way on the outside. And he could quietly vote yes. If he votes no, oh my Lord in heaven, he's going to have to face down some friendly fire from within the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Daryl's call before we go to a break here. Daryl, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think? Do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks?
Well, one of the things is I wouldn't pick Gaetz. I mean, why would we pick a rapist, a child molester? I mean,
Daryl, listen.
Yeah.
The question is, do you support recess appointment confirmations? So does that mean that you're no?
I do.
And
I
Matt, you can't. I mean, that's literally defamation to say that about Matt Gaetz. He is not convicted of any of that stuff. He's not even being charged with any of that stuff.
Well, Matt Gaetz, he's always been a thorn in our party side, and I tell you, it's not that's somebody we don't want. He's not. I mean, he's not going to do the right thing. He's not going. He's only going to do stuff one-sided. He's just going to do what Trump say. He's not going to say.
Don't you think that the majority of the majority of the country just chose Donald Trump, and Donald Trump chose Matt Gaetz? So he does serve at the pleasure of the president. He's supposed to do what Donald Trump wants him to do as far as the plan to right the justice system.
Yeah, but the thing is, they keep talking about the Constitution. They keep talking about the law. What about the law and what about the Constitution?
Yeah, we need to restore it. I think that was why he picked Matt Gaetz.
I don't think it's been unrestored. I think that the problem is the reason our country the way it is right now is because of either party. They didn't put country first. I'm just saying they didn't put country first. Our party, the Republican Party, we worry about party first over country. Democrats, they worry about the party, the whatever SWAT and so on and so on. They didn't put country first. And that's why we at where we at right now. And then what's ready to go on with one side controlling all three houses and all this kind of stuff, it's going to be a mess.
Daryl, I just got to say, constitutionally speaking, when the American people speak and they put Republicans in charge of everything, that's about as constitutionally based as it possibly gets. And you keep saying, we don't need him in our party. It sounds to me like the we and the our, that's a you, not a you and me thing, because I don't think you and I see the things the same way.
And you're right. And I know that you for party. I mean, I listen to you every day. I listen to you every day, faithfully, sweet. I love you. So, but my thing is that we're not taking care of the American people. It's just that simple. I mean,
what about Donald Trump's campaign leading up to his victory? What about what he did and said makes you think that he doesn't care about the American people that have been forgotten for the last 4 years?
Trump is worrying about one person. That's Trump.
That's not true.
Trump don't give a damn about you, me.
I completely disagree.
Else. Oh, okay. And you know what? And we can agree to disagree. But I'm telling you right now, we got Jesus, so I can say that we still have.
Hey, you and I agree on that, there, Daryl.
We're going to be okay. Anyway, sweetie, I listen every day. I love you. Go right ahead. Do what you do.
Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate you very much as well. It's kind words from him that he listens, even though we might disagree on certain things. And I just don't fundamentally agree with that thought that Donald Trump is in this for himself. If he were in it for himself, he'd be making bazillions of dollars doing things that didn't involve taking gunfire at his head.
Yeah, this has not been an easy campaign.
No. And I mean, how many people have come into the presidency and become very, very wealthy? He's lost capital over being the president of the United States. But the good news here, at least in my perspective, is that Donald Trump now has the ability to prove Daryl wrong, and Daryl has the right to have his thoughts and his opinions and question, as we all should be doing, is questioning government, questioning our elected officials, especially when we send them there. You should hold them accountable all of the time. I hope that the case that Daryl is convinced otherwise through the course of Donald Trump's next term, I hope that we hear from Daryl again soon and he goes, you know what? I might not think this, that, and the other thing about him, but he has done things that I didn't anticipate him doing.
I just appreciate that Daryl has a deep distrust of politicians. I mean, that's a healthy thing to have.
We have that in common.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. Tell us what you think on the YouTube live chat poll. Do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks? Yes for all, yes for some, or no? We got 2 no's and a yes for some in this room. What about you? We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
There's a destination a little up the road from the habitations of the towns we know. A place we saw.
The Diamond Shop is going to be celebrating Small Business Saturday, November 30th. Are you going to go? I hope you do. They have great 0% financing options for you if you are looking to make a purchase for this holiday season. Check out the great deals that they have to make it more affordable for you. 40% off all in-stock jewelry. And if you are a VIP, which is pretty simple to do, you just go to thediamondshop.net, scroll to the bottom of the page, quick form, fill it out, and you're going to save an extra 10% for VIPs on the top of that 40% off all in-stock jewelry. The sale is going through Christmas Eve, so you can get there now and you can make a beautiful, beautiful purchase within your budget. Go in there and tell them, I'm looking to spend $50. I'm looking to spend $5,000. They're going to treat you the same no matter what, and they're going to help you meet the needs of whatever your expectations are, and you're going to be so glad that you have people you can trust in the business. Go see Tom, Mona, Nikki, and the whole family, the staff there at the Diamond Shop in Clayton or online right now at thediamondshop.net.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. And Cyber Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategy that has helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 38 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Monday afternoon, the very latest on the Trump cabinet picks, and Congressman-elect Bob Onder joins us.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Gosh, it's gorgeous outside. It's so nice outside today. Why are we inside? Oh, yeah, because we have a job performance review coming up.
We could take these microphones outside.
Andy, can we have radio outside today?
You're asking the wrong person. I don't know what kind of authority you think I have, but I assure you, I don't. I have none.
Andy, can we play outside?
Yes, you can. 3 o'clock. You can do whatever you want then. I'm leaving. No, I have to go to a meeting with our boss.
Oh.
I came across this clip. Scott Jennings, what a leap I believe his career has made in the course of this past election. People coming on to who Scott Jennings is on CNN. I mean, I think really putting CNN on the map for discussion because he's speaking into enemy territory on a regular basis, but with the chill that you have to make it really entertaining. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't lose his cool.
No, it's been I didn't know much about him at all before this election started to really ramp up. But I wanted to play this for you guys and get your thoughts on this.
I do think we have a crisis of especially young men in this country, and they're in many ways disconnected from the rest of their families, disconnected from their communities, disconnected from our political culture, disconnected from our civil culture. And that's a real problem for a society that depends on all of us to be engaged and working together to make it as good of a country and as good of a society as it can be. I think the Democrats in this election made men feel like that the patriarchy is over, boys, and we're going to put you in the back seat for a while and you're just going to have to accept it, without any thought to the ramifications of telling people who are out honestly trying to make a living, provide for their families, be good husbands, be good fathers. When you tell people who are doing their level best that either A, it's not good enough, or B, you're part of the problem, what do you expect? And then finally, as a political tactic, the attempt to put walls on the ticket, and that was going to somehow solve all of the problems that had been built up for years, was ridiculous, because it turns out Walz was the last person that men wanted to hear from. And I remember at the beginning of that whole campaign, when they put him on, I sat right here, and people were like, oh, they got camouflaged hats. They're going to be wearing them in the deer stands this fall. And I think to your point that you just made, that was not that idea that was not formulated by a bunch of dudes who actually go deer hunting. It was come up with by a bunch of people who've never met a dude that actually goes deer hunting. But when you try to put that kind of window dressing on a real communications problem or a real relationship problem, it gets exposed immediately.
So, gosh, he says so much there in that clip, and I think it's really important to talk about right now because the lower third right there while Scott Jennings is talking to, and this is what I noticed about this. I don't know all the people who are on this table of this panel of guests regularly, but very rarely does Scott Jennings make his salient points without getting shouted down by lunatics who are sitting at most of the people who they were showing on the camera there were looking and giving him the respect of listening to him, and some other people look like they were kind of almost going, yeah, you got a point here. But the lower third, while he was talking, said modern manhood and its attraction to MAGA. And he makes 2 points there, that there is an attraction to what Donald Trump's movement offered to men who want to be men. Period, full stop. But also, he talks about what the other side did to repel men. So there's an attraction and a detraction for men that was really a highlight of this campaign cycle. Ryan, you're raising 2 boys. I think that culture, like the reflection that culture has, good grief, there are music videos out there that your kids could come across. There's so much stuff on social media. God forbid you let your children, I'm not talking to you, Ryan, I'm talking to everybody, have access to social media. I've allowed my kids to have phones that they can text message on. 0, zilch, none social media. But the constant inundation of feminized men as the only acceptable way for men to be, we went from, not all men want to be in a deer stand drinking, I was going to say beer, but you shouldn't be drinking beer in your deer stand. What do I know?
Oh, duels.
Oh, duels.
Yeah.
Going back to the feminization. Just kidding.
Oh,
the super masculine attributes that are shoved into the category off the cliff into toxic masculinity. That toxic masculinity became anything that was masculine. And while I know men in my life who have more what would be considered feminine characterizations, but they still would be like, yeah, I'm a man. There's no departure from that. Like the existence of multiple kinds of men, that's what reality is. But the left has said, no, we're only going to permit these kind of men. And anything that looks super, America, masculine, that is done. That is over. That is patriarchy. It's hard to raise kids in a world where their cultural references are pointing them away. It's hard to raise sons in a world where cultural references are always shaming men for being men.
It's probably a weird diversion way to go here, but I feel like there are extremes of masculinity right now. The left being in control of most of how they're defining modern masculinity, exactly what you're talking about, that we talk about pretty often, that, it's kind of the feminization of men. That there is a backlash against that, though. And that backlash looks a lot like UFC fights. It looks a lot like the hunting culture, and all of that's fine. I have no problem with the backlash, but there's also a large contingency of people in the middle of that, because I'm not really into that. I'm not like a gun culture guy. I'm a gun rights guy, but I'm not really into the gun culture as much. I'm kind of interested in finding out more, but I'm not there yet. UFC, it's not my thing, but I am not anywhere. I'm closer to that, but it's not my subculture. I'm not anywhere near what the left is trying to sell, though. So there's a lot of people who you may not be into the backlash stuff, the extreme masculinity, but you are definitely not into whatever they're trying to sell you is masculinity now. And so you're just kind of lost. And I think Scott Jennings seems to be speaking to that a little bit more than anything here, that there is a whole generation of men who are like, look, I like some of the high testosterone stuff, but it's not 100% of who I am. Isn't there a middle ground? And it's definitely not over here.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about, Ryan, is what he was hitting on. The left did, and they pointed to you, the guys like you, and said you're just like the rest of all those crazies out there that want to, do all these high-octane, testosterone-laden things. All men are the same unless they're ultra-feminized. And so they divided men up, and if you didn't do what they thought men should do or whatever the new men thing is, and I'm not even sure that they even understand what it is, because it seems to me they've been trying to erase the differences between the sexes as of the past 10 years. But they took and they put their dividing line down and scooped everybody into one bucket that was on that side of the dividing line, and it turns out it was a majority of men that they scooped over into that bucket and offended and called toxic, and they did a whole bunch of things. And to his point at the beginning, too, he was talking about, how men feel alone and left out. And I was sitting here thinking, man, what would it have been like to be a young man or a boy growing up in this culture where everything that they tell you that is coming naturally to you as a student, as a child or whatever, that's toxic. You can't do that. And you're sitting there going, but this is
or at
who I
least
am.
Question it.
Yeah, this is who I am. Am I just bad? And that's kind of the impression they gave. And men, whenever they do that, they either lash out or they withdraw completely.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing from young men in society today. They have been browbeat into either submission or anger, and it's not healthy for anyone.
Let's take a quick break. We'll get to some of your thoughts on this on the YouTube live chat and go vote. Do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks? It's a hot topic right now. Republican senators were meeting today. I think J.D. Vance was meeting with some of these different picks, and they're trying to figure out where they are, kind of get that pregame understanding of where the Republicans in the Senate might be, because it doesn't matter what the Democrats want. If all the Republicans agree, you can go through the confirmation process and do all the things and get Donald Trump his cabinet picks. I think there's a key point with the recess appointment thought here, and you got to think about the mechanism to get the picks through. You gotta understand that there are going to be people who are for it just because Donald Trump did it, and there are going to be people who are against it just because Donald Trump did it. So where are you? Annie Fry YouTube channel. Go vote. Leave a comment. We'll be right back.
That's where you're gonna go when you die.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
The aid and attendance pension. That is something that if you are a veteran, you've probably heard about it. But if you haven't, boy, am I talking to you right now. Are you a veteran? Are you married to a veteran? Do you know and love a veteran? Make sure that they understand completely about this aid and attendance pension that they have access to. If you've served during wartime for a minimum of 90 days, you and your spouse qualify. For veterans, you can collect $2,600 per month in benefits that you absolutely have earned. For spouses, that number is $1,300. Reach out to Civia Law, S-I-V-I-A, Civia Law, to talk about how he can help you get your aid and attendance pension acquired. You deserve it, and Todd Civia considers it his duty to make sure that you've gotten it. CiviaLaw.com. You can also reach out to him to talk about powers of attorney, getting your will in order, your living will, as well as a trust. Avoid probate. Don't waste time, money, and lose your privacy because you haven't gotten these things in order. From that first strategy session sit down, 2 weeks, and you'll have completed documents on that trust. Also, don't forget about that aid and attendance. It's also called an A&A pension. 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL in Missouri and Illinois, CiviaLaw.com.
Who you choose to sell your St. Louis area home matters, especially in this changing market. We all know a few realtors, including me, but I only recommend one realtor. Mark Cox here. For the past several years, I've gotten to know Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria's different, guaranteeing to sell your home at your agreed-to price, or Gloria will buy it. When selling your home, you want the most money and the least hassle. That's exactly what you get with Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Check this out. After 6 months, 2 separate agents failed to sell the Wheeler family's home. With no more time to waste, they decided to give Gloria Liu a call. Within a few days, Gloria was able to get them multiple offers and sold their home at nearly 99% of listing price because Gloria already had the buyers. The agent you choose to sell your home really matters. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Outdoor Living Redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck, or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. If your trees are looking sick or if you have insects that aren't welcome in your landscape, Hansen's can help. Our plant healthcare program offers tree and shrub fertilization as well as pest management to maintain a great looking landscape. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
Just a reminder, if you want to go to Guns N' Hoses, I do believe the only way you can get in now is to win tickets. It's either really close to selling out or it just sold out today. Guns N' Hoses is next Wednesday night, the night before Thanksgiving, and you can win free tickets by listening to the Annie Fry Show. Congratulations, you're already doing that. You just have to stick around in the 2 o'clock hour. That's when we're giving those away.
Instead of saying congratulations, say thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
1:45. This
you.
time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
TalkZone.com.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app. This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Somewhere there's speaking, it's already coming in. Oh, and it's rising at the back of your mind. You never could get in unless you were fed in. Now you're here and you don't know why. But under skin knees and the skid marks, past the places where you used to learn. You howl and listen and wait for the echoes of angels who won't return.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I had a rule about playing The View on this show.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to not watch clips of The View now. It's so hard to turn it away. It's so hard to not watch them not handle this whole situation well, because they are not handling this situation well. You know, is it Alyssa Farah something?
Alyssa Farah Griffin?
Griffin. Didn't she work with Trump?
Yeah, she was part of the administration.
She said some cogent things before, and I've seen Whoopi. Okay, confession time. I don't mind Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, I don't mind her as Guinan, but I don't like her on The View so much.
Well, I don't think it's her best work.
Agreed.
But I know how you feel about The View. Did you show your wife that video yet?
I haven't talked to her
I'm
about
sending it to her in the break.
You should probably not.
Ryan Wiggins talking about how he gets turned on by The View is one of the weirdest but funniest things that I've watched many times since that video was
I did
created.
not come right and say it that way.
I did.
It was much more humorous.
Go on.
I was talking about how I was just watching it for research. And then I did the eyebrows up and down
Yes,
real
the
fast.
proverbial articles, if you will. I don't know. I think that, like, I feel like Whoopi Goldberg is more, I don't feel like she's filled with hate. Like Joy Behar,
Yeah.
I don't know what purpose she serves on this planet other than to spew hate.
Yeah, she is a hateful person.
She's so awful.
Yet, here, eye candy.
Part 2. Sunny Hostin too. Like Joy, how do you typecast on the same show? You don't need a Joy and a Sunny. Their names are Joy and Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
Sunny Joy. Joy Sunny.
Whoopi.
Whoopi. I think I'm starting to get it now. How did we miss this?
And Anna.
Yeah. Which one of these is not like the other? These people have lies for names. But I mean, to Whoopi's point, I often think that Whoopi Goldberg says what she thinks what she says. I respect that. I would say the same for Joy and Sunny, except for they just hate. They don't appear to be thinking. They're just hating. And then they end up going off and saying ridiculous things that every once in a while they end up having to get checked on it. And then I don't know if you've seen this video. We're going to share it on our YouTube. But like, listen to Sunny Hostin have to read this legal disclaimer after defaming Matt Gaetz.
Okay.
Wait, I mean, if you the look in her eyes, she doesn't even have her eyes all the way open. You can tell that she's vomiting in her mouth when she has to go through and read this legal statement. And the funny thing is I've seen multiple of these lately. They've had to issue corrections. And Whoopi Goldberg is, I guess she's maybe the host of the show or whatever. She's the one who usually takes them into the segment and sends them out of the segment. And She says so many things without saying so many words.
On screen. Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism, that DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
That was great. Give them credit.
How do you not tune into this stuff right now?
That was great.
The highest rated show they've ever had was the day after the election. Isn't that right?
Maybe. I haven't seen that.
Oh my gosh, if that's true, that's really funny.
All I saw on Twitter the day after the election, and the irony of the situation was, I was going on Twitter to find out the same thing. Everyone was like, what time does The View start? Nobody knows, at least in my X feed, that I understand I have a curated feed of people who I'm willing to consume information for. There's a lean to that feed. But everybody knows the stupid stuff that The View says all the time because they're on X. But nobody knew what time to tune into the show.
Yeah, because nobody's watching it.
None of those people, at least, are sitting down to watch The View.
That's so funny because the next day we got here, and I think we were probably a little bit later than usual. We were up really late. Although, no, I had planned on coming in late and just got up at the same time. So I was here at the same time, and everybody around our office was like, you guys going to tune into The View today? And it was just part of the conversation. Everybody was saying it.
The Variety magazine, Michael Schneider writes an article. The election results weighed heavily last week on The View hosts and perhaps its viewers as well, as they tuned in en masse to give the daytime talker its best week-long ratings in more than 3.5 years. According to ABC analysts' analysis of Nielsen data, The View averaged 3.078 million viewers during the week of November 4th, making it the tops among daytime broadcast, network talk, and news shows. Specifically, on Wednesday, November 6th, the day after the election, The View attracted 4.47 million viewers, which made it the show's most watched episode since Barbara Walters' farewell episode in 2014. There's Barbara Walters, and then there's We Gotta See What They're Doing Today.
Gosh, that's amazing. You know what else is amazing about that? When Barbara Walters left TV, a lot of people were watching TV.
That's true. Totally
Now,
different climate.
You have to seek out somewhere that I couldn't even watch that at home. I had to come in here to see it because we have live TV here. There are way more people tuning into that than even Barbara Walters when you consider the difference of how people consume TV.
I saw somebody tweeted, it was Joe Concha. It's always Joe Concha. Why are you not following Joe Concha on X? At Joe Concha TV, I believe. MSNBC's election night ratings, I think it was specifically dominated CNN's ratings. And there were like MSNBC people like boasting, and Joe Concha's like, if they only knew.
It's true, though.
It was us. We were the ones who were tuning in.
It's 100% true.
I watched on YouTube. Now, I like watching YouTube. YouTube understands me. I get it. Google, I get it. I understand the trouble I'm in. But we watch a lot of YouTube at home. And YouTube serves you stuff up. And I like that because I often will find things that maybe I wouldn't find if I were just searching the usual suspects.
The multiverse.
Sure. It had I think it was 24 minutes and 5 seconds. I'm going to find this and tweet it out because I'll be able to look in my YouTube history. I watched the entire 24-minute video. When I'm looking for videos on YouTube, I'm like 3 minutes tops. That's how much time I'll give it to you on something specifically. And it was 24 minutes of all of MSNBC's election night coverage. It was just shrunk into 24 minutes. And this one guy, and man, I hate to admit this on the air, but Ryan, he reminded me of you. He's just in this like lower corner of the thing, and they're just cutting boom, boom, boom. You know, Vermont goes to Kamala Harris, and it's Rachel Maddow running through the first half of the election results. And then all of a sudden, Rachel Maddow's gone, and Jen Psaki is in there. I'm like, did she quit? Did she give up? But Jen Psaki gets to announce that Donald Trump wins Wisconsin and therefore the presidency. And then the way she ushers in the news that Donald Trump has won re-election is to list basically all of the things that have been accusations towards Donald Trump. They're like, yeah, you guys chose that guy. It was glorious. I hadn't seen it. And watching the meltdown from these people occur with, who's the guy? Michael Steele. He used to be in charge of the Republican Party.
He's there?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Thank you that these people are gone.
And I'm just going to say it this way. As the night progressed, the guests get weirder.
Nobody wants to get on that ship.
Well, you'd think that you'd want to be later in the evening because that's when the results would be. So if you're getting slated, you don't want to be in the 7 o'clock Eastern hour. Nothing's happened then.
Unless you're losing. Then you're going to be like, I think I'm going to go home.
On this break, I'm going to go onto YouTube, find the video I watched, and I'll I will post on X the link to this YouTube video. Because if you've got half an hour, instead of watching some sitcom, watch this and be filled with sunny joy. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Have you ever been told you can't get into the water for 30 minutes after eating because you can cramp up and drown? And then you were told if you eat watermelon seeds, you're going to grow a watermelon in your stomach. Swallowing gum it'll stay in your stomach for 7 years. Don't sit too close to the TV or you'll go blind. Wow, these aren't your peers saying this is your, people you're counting on that you believe and you trust. Or the air conditioning that we have now isn't good enough for you, so you need to do this. I don't know, guys. If you have questions, you have doubts, and you want common sense approach to, heating and cooling your home affordably, call me, Bart Inman, one real easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Stewart's American Mortgage, the bagel loan guy. When I talk about the bagel loan, it's important that you understand why the bagel loan for your mortgage that you're getting when you buy your new house, or for your mortgage refinance. Maybe you got to do a cash out refinance. Maybe you need to pay down some credit card debt. Maybe you need to replace a car or something. You've got this equity in your home and you want to access it for whatever particular reason is good for you. When you do the bagel loan, zero closing costs, no dollars in closing costs to acquire that new mortgage. You call Stewie at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, and you say, Stewie, and he said something about a bagel loan. I'd like to know how you can help me out. I have friends who have used the bagel loan. I have family who have used the bagel loan. I have used it twice myself. I stand by it. You will become a very competitive buyer if you're looking to use a bagel loan. He'll walk you through the whole process and make sure you understand exactly how it helps you. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Did you know millions of people are getting prescription medications for weight loss, sexual health, better sleep, and more, all online? RexMD.com has made getting these medications fast and easy, with free delivery of the most popular medications right to your door. Just fill out a brief survey, and if appropriate, we'll prescribe and ship clinically proven options to help with issues like weight loss.
I've lost 45 pounds so far. It's nice to get back into clothes that I haven't been able to wear for a long time.
We can also help with insomnia.
I slept through the whole night. It made me feel very well rested and ready to go for the day.
And RexMD can improve your sexual health.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is happier. I am definitely much happier.
At RexMD.com, we've made the process fast, easy, and affordable. Visit RexMD.com right now to get started. That's REXMD.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
He'll be locked up for life. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. A swift verdict and sentencing for the man convicted of killing Georgia nursing student Laken Riley.
There's no end to the pain and suffering that he inflicted on our family.
Laken Riley's mom, Allison, asking the judge in Athens to hand down the maximum sentence for Jose Ibarra. and he did.
I'll sentence you to life without the possibility of parole.
The Venezuelan national convicted of all 10 counts, including murder, kidnapping, and attempted rape of Riley, whom Ibarra attacked in February along running trails near the University of Georgia. The case became a national lightning rod over illegal immigration and crime. President-elect Donald Trump on Truth Social saying in part, justice for Laken, and that it's time to secure our border.
Fox's Jeff Panasso. Ibarra waived his right to a jury trial, a sentence coming just hours after closing arguments. A former University of Virginia student just pleading guilty to a shooting that left 3 football players dead, 2 other students wounded in 2022. Christopher Jones Jr. opening fire on a charter bus as he and other students arrived back on campus from a day trip. The South Carolina mom who killed her 2 young sons 30 years ago by rolling her car into a lake is denied parole. Her ex-husband David, the children's father, telling reporters the parole board made the right decision.
Susan, in the last 30 years, through her action, has continued to proven that it's all about her.
Prosecutors say Smith killed her children because of an affair she was having, then made up a story about a carjacking. But she told the parole board today she wasn't trying to get away with it.
I was just scared. I didn't know how I could tell the people that loved them that they would never see them again.
Unsuccessfully pleading for mercy in her first chance at parole, her defense attorney says Smith had mental health issues that went unchecked. America is listening to Fox News.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Sunny, windy, and chilly. As far as our afternoon is concerned, 50 will do it for the high, but it feels colder. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy, and cold. 35 for the overnight low. Thursday, sunny, gusty winds and cold, 45. Feels colder out in that wind. 35 Thursday night. Friday, partly sunny. Lighter winds, 47 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're leaving for work, but the garage door won't open. Is it the opener? Is the spring broken? Now you're late and your car is trapped. Well, don't panic. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is here with same-day emergency service. They won't leave you stuck. The original Red Ribbon Garage Door Company, trusted in St. Louis since 1926. Call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
CassinsCan.com. That's the website. If you're looking to buy a vehicle, make sure that you give Cassins the opportunity to earn your business. I'd say go show up at their lot. They're in Glen Carbon. If you get on 270 heading into Illinois and you go north off of 270 onto 159, it's like a mile, and they're right there on the left. It's incredibly simple to get to from anywhere. But before you make the drive to Glen Carbon, just give them a call and talk to them about what you're looking for. You can check them out online as well, cassenscan.com. But if you have something specific in mind, partner up with one of the amazing sales staff that they have there. Lots of experience. These are well-experienced individuals, and they are great at what they do. 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712. They boast when others can't, Cassens can. That has been the case for my family. We drive a Chrysler Pacifica from Cassens and a Jeep Grand Cherokee from Cassens, and we love the fact that we can take them back, get great maintenance done. They have warranties available, the financing, all of it they can do right there at Cassens. That's why our family keeps going back there. CassensCan.com.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
We love Guns N' Hoses, and that's why we're going to be the first station to ever broadcast Guns N' Hoses the day before Thanksgiving. Mark Cox here. It's November 27th at the Enterprise Center. Tickets and info are at 971talk.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We appreciate you being with us this afternoon. Our poll for today is, do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks? Yes, for all of them. Yes, for some of them. Or no, you don't. Some of the comments that have come in so far on YouTube. Chris says, I chose yes. It's in the Constitution. Many presidents have used this power. Rick says, give Trump the teammates he chooses. Get out of the man's way. RSG says, yes, Democrats are launching an all-out attack smear campaign targeting Trump's picks with dark money group called 2+2 Coalition, run by Rick Wilson of the Lincoln Project. You know, when it comes to specifically Matt Gaetz, I don't know that it's 100% Democrats who would be interested in running a smear campaign against Matt Gaetz. I also don't know what to believe is true at all. So my ears and my mind are wide open. Jackie said, I fully support it, whether all or some. Obama filled 32 positions using recess appointments, including the assistant attorney general and several undersecretary roles, Bush, Clinton, and others too. And Joe says, the rules are the rules. Both sides have to quit shortcutting. People cheering this move should feel cheated were roles reversed. I know I sure as heck would not like this if Kamala Harris were like, no, we're just going to push them all through recess appointments.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm hesitant to say yes to this poll, is because it could flip back the other way and you want to have the same deference.
Josh says on YouTube, recess appointments at the beginning of the term don't feel constitutional. Seems to me that it's once confirmations have already happened, if a vacancy occurs, then you can do recess appointments. I don't know that stipulation is in there, but certainly when, was it Hans that we were talking to or somebody else, a legal expert was saying, like, if it's October and they're on a month-long recess, yes, it was, because Hans was a recess appointment by George Bush. If it's October and you're at war and Congress is at recess and your Secretary of Defense dies, you can't be like, well, we'll wait until November to start that process.
That's right.
Which is also why it's limited in time. Scientist says, if Gaetz survived the Democratic-controlled Senate and House war machines, he must have done nothing. So it will only be another witch hunt for their approval. Recess appointments, all. I don't agree with that.
There is a lot of question about how to use recess appointments because nobody's questioning whether or not it's constitutional. It's just a matter of how you do it, when you do it, for what purpose are you doing it. which is why we're having the discussion ultimately.
Yeah, Again, I don't think that this is really, I don't think the confirmation process is really going to be that difficult. And if Matt Gaetz is not somebody who could get confirmed in the Senate, I think he withdraws his name. I don't think that,
Yeah.
this wouldn't even be a topic of conversation. It'd be like another detail in the midst of all of this post-election shifting and aligning. Matt Gaetz is the one that everybody is like, are you really going to push him through without any vetting? This isn't it really, honestly, when we talk about recess appointments, aren't we all talking about Matt Gaetz?
No, I don't think we're just talking about Matt Gaetz because there are other people that are getting a little bit of pushback. But you're right that it's probably more in the media, it's more manufactured than it's actually going to be once they vote.
People push back against RFK Jr., people push back against Tulsi Gabbard, but those are policy disagreements. People hate Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz is intentionally a hateable guy.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Zero fudge brownies given.
Mm-hmm. FBs.
Yes. There's no part. There's no part of Matt Gaetz's presentation where he's like, "Oh, what do you think they're gonna say?" He doesn't care.
That's why people like him.
And that's why they hate him. Yeah. It's not unlike Donald Trump.
It's really one of those things that the closer you are to somebody like that, the more you don't like them. So Washington, these people deal with him, they're not going to like him. The further you get away from it and you go, actually, the reason that I voted for that guy is so that he would do that.
Well, the method to Matt Gaetz's madness is ego. Because there are a lot of people in Congress who have the same policy positions and thoughts that Matt Gaetz does, but Matt Gaetz just delivers them in a Matt Gaetz kind of way. And it really gets under the skin for a lot of people. It's very useful in the world of politics. It'd be very useful. I mean, how much of the oxygen is the Matt Gaetz conversation sucking out of the room right now to where we're not really talking about Tulsi Gabbard nationally? We're not really talking about Bobby Kennedy Jr. nationally, the way the attention is being lumped onto Matt Gaetz.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really interested in those two individuals getting those appointments. Matt Gaetz, I'm neither here nor there. Like, if it happens, I will have a front row seat to it.
I am too. And I think there are a lot of Americans that are actually really excited about Bobby Kennedy because of the food thing that was off everybody's radar until all of a sudden, oh, this can be fixed. Let's get that guy in there.
YouTube commenter, Terminate the Constitution, makes a very interesting point. Gaetz will do Trump's bidding. He proved his loyalty to Trump many times. Yes, unlike Merrick Garland.
What if Gaetz falls off and he's like, you know what? I nominate Merrick Garland.
This
That's not how it works.
This whole loyalty line is just the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You're darn right he better be loyal to the man he's serving under his presidency.
There is not a president who has not appointed somebody that is his, as the kids say, his opponent.
False. Jeff Sessions. You lose.
Thank you.
But he
Sorry,
didn't
Brad.
think that he would be. Every president looks for that quality in their cabinet appointments. Like, what's wrong with somebody being loyal to the president?
Yeah, they never said Biden appoints a Biden loyalist.
Yeah.
They would just say he's an appointment.
Yeah, I mean, like, if that's the line you're going to take, then Joe Biden needed to have appointed a Republican to run a certain branch of the government. Why? Well, he won't be loyal to him, that's for sure. This is the dumbest thing ever. Stupid. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
You got a couple minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
45 minutes, call people stupid.
That's what a lot of people in this industry do. I don't know why we would be any different.
You know, there is a part of me that wants to tune in and just be like, ha ha, everything's going our way. Let's just celebrate.
I'm okay, fine. Fine.
Yeah, do that.
You want to play the
Let's
video?
Celebrate. Come on.
We'll play the video because I didn't really know how to go about having this conversation, and I might have to pull back on this if it's terrible radio because visually there is a lot to offer here. But Piers Morgan has a show. Is it on some British network?
I think so, but it's Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Not a Fox show.
No.
Piers Morgan has a show. I think Piers Morgan is great because he definitely feels like he's owned by nobody. He does what he wants. He says what he wants. I don't think he's American. I don't think he has citizenship here. So he kind of like comes in. I just find it amusing when the Brits come in and like put their nose in the air and judge us, and we're like, yeah, but we the people. and then the people start talking about throwing tea into the. It's just
1776.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when people like Piers Morgan are going on and on about the royal family.
Okay.
Americans are never more united when they're like, we kick those people to the curb. Over Piers Morgan. Anyway, he has this show on. He has people of all different stripes, usually, who come in and are on these panels. This is Cenk. How do you say his last name?
Uyghur.
Uyghur? Okay, that's what I thought. Two Young Turks. I mean, to me, if you're just feeling in a certain type of mood, if you're feeling a certain type of way, go back and watch the Young Turks in 2016, watch the election turn away from Hillary Clinton.
It's the most famous moment of their lives.
I can't even believe they made it through, that they survived it. So it's Cenk, Alan Lichtman, who is Mr. Brilliant, predicts the outcome of every election.
Don't get me started.
He's on here. That insufferable white dudes for Harris loser.
Harry Sisson.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. He is what every person over 30 just hates about young people.
Yeah, in my head, this guy shows up at a party on a skateboard with headphones and is like, what up, losers?
Yes, exactly. Yes. And then Juan Williams.
Yeah, well, okay.
Who I don't even think he speaks in this clip here. But if you follow Cenk on X, he keeps saying, like, Democrats, wake up. You do not have a winning formula here. You've been trying to shove down the throats of voters what they need to think, what they need to feel, what they need to believe, who the enemy is. And they said, no, wake up, pay attention, because you're going to keep losing if you don't change anything. And he's trying to make that point. And Alan Lichtman, is that his name?
Yes.
Alan Lichtman.
This guy's a joke.
This righteous son of a biscuit is not having
fudge brownie.
He has fudge brownies to give. A lot of them. He is a buffet of fudge brownies here. But Piers Morgan is just sitting here on this panel while these four Democrats of very, very different walks are supposed to be having a conversation about, I guess, where the Democrats go from here.
I think, look, we can
Cenk.
get into this discussion, but one, I think you're blaming the voters. I think that's a terrible idea. Look, I debated Professor Lichtman before. I told him his theories about the keys were absurd. I was right. He was wrong. I said he'd lose his keys.
No, you were
couldn't
not
find
right,
them before
and
the
I was
election.
not wrong, and that's a cheap shot, and I won't stand for it.
Okay, I got to interrupt here. When you're on a panel with people to talk about something, you don't have four people on a panel who are all going to agree on things. It is within Cenk's right to be like, I disagree with you on this. You were wrong about this. Alan Lichtman's response is essentially, no one is allowed to disagree with me ever, but you got to see where he takes
who
this.
won, brother?
You should not be
Who
taking
won?
cheap
Who
shots
won?
at me.
Who
you
won?
want to make your
You
point,
live
make your
in
point.
a total
Don't make it
world of
personal.
denial.
I read your own followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me.
He's like, do you even know what people say behind your back? In the
On
comments
your
on
own
your
comments?
post.
What?
Yeah. I mean, at one point, Cenk here has his finger up, pointing at his head in a circular motion to be like, you crazy, which I thought was not something that a liberal would do. That's very offensive to people who are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But Alan Lichtman is not offended because he is not crazy.
He's
not
lost
crazy.
some crazy
right.
decisions.
With your personal
Yeah,
attacks.
come find out again.
Make whatever point you want.
Yeah.
Don't
Look,
make it personal.
You don't know anything. You don't know
You
anything.
attacked me
You
personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only been a professor for 51 years.
That's not an accomplishment.
Sour grapes.
No, it's the opposite.
I actually don't think the professors can get out of the profession.
Yeah, what else are you going to do?
I know that universities are really hurting for funding.
Program.
Published
I've never been
13
able
books.
to finish a
How
thought.
many books have you published?
This is
great.
This is as nauseatingly academia as you can possibly. I've been a professor for 51 years. I've published 13 books. How many books have you published? Yeah, but what if your books suck? And what if you predicted the election with great confidence and you were wrong? That's all Cenk is saying here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you have this rubric as to why you're predicting what's going to happen, and you were obviously wrong. And he's like, do not insult me personally.
By the way, I'm going to start doing this to you pretty much for the entire holiday season after
Alan
I
Lichtman?
release my book on Tuesday. How many
Then
books have you
no,
released?
because you're personally
Yeah.
attacking me again. Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to stand for
brother,
personal
you got
attacks.
it wrong.
Say
you were
whatever you want.
preposterously and stupidly wrong. So, okay, all right. Can I just finish a goddamn thought ever on this show?
No, not if you're personally attacked. I admitted I was wrong. I don't need you to call me stupid.
Okay.
I'll just say it's great to see you Democrats all getting along so well. It's lovely to see a post-election harmony as you all come together again.
Hey, Alan, hey, Alan, you deserve a tall glass of shut-up juice, so can you just shut up for a second and let someone who knows what they're doing...
You're so right, Pierce. You're so right. We're so unified right now.
Listen to what Alan Lichtman says
here.
here.
And stand for personal attacks, for blasphemy against me. You don't need to do that. You don't boost
blasphemy
your ego
against you?
by
What the hell are
attacking
you?
me
Are you
like that.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
make your
you
points.
loser?
I mean, could you possibly put together a more cogent example of what the godless academic left thinks of themselves? The whole point that Cenk is trying to make is you made a prediction, you said this was going to happen, and you were wrong about it. And in doing so, he throws back the fact that I've been a professor for 51 years. I've published 13 books. How many have you published? Do not blaspheme me. What?
Do not blaspheme me.
What?
Holy
You would
smokes.
think that in your 51 years of being a professor, you'd know what that word means, Mr. Lowercase g self God. Like, good Lord, what? It's
That's
not okay
terrible.
on the left. They're not okay right now. And honestly, I'm encouraged and refreshed. I never thought I'd say this by one of the Young Turks.
Well, he's a populist. That guy is a Bernie Sanders Democrat, and he is looking at the landscape going, what the heck happened to us? And I've seen a lot of stuff from him online lately saying, we're just corporate shills at this point. That's all we are. And if you don't toe the line, you are shown the door immediately in the Democrat Party.
If Donald Trump woos him over,
I can't even imagine it. After that famous video in 2016, if he ends up going, you know what, Donald Trump actually has some pretty decent points.
I tell you what, Donald Trump about has Anna Kasparian, who's his co-host on The Young Turks. She has been very pushed back on a lot of that stuff.
more indication of where the Democrat Party has gone and the space that they've vacated to make people who, if you just got to peek, if it's 2016, 2 days before the election, and you just get to peek into November 6th, 2024, Donald Trump wins re-election, you're going, what? Excuse me, huh? How do we get to there? And you're watching the people who melt down the day after the election in 2016. So many of those people have withdrawn being in the public space. They've parted ways one way or the other. And it's just such a different landscape. And the transformation is 100% Donald Trump. Everybody who has moved because of Donald Trump.
It's amazing. When we were talking about the masculinity debate, we failed to connect that to Trump because he has, and this is why people have really kind of attached themselves, especially guys, to Trump. The whole masculinity thing, we walk on eggshells. You're not really sure what the rules are. They're constantly changing. Trump comes in 2016 and now has for like 10 years, just enters rooms without using doors. And you're like, that's kind of what I was looking for, is somebody to just break everything and say, none of this matters. And Trump, I don't even know if that he's intended to do that, but he has broken so many narratives by just existing the way that he is, and he continues to win, that it's a phenomenal story that they're going to be writing about for hundreds of years.
Yeah. Donald Trump has been unapologetically Donald Trump from the start. And the reason why everybody is shifting around is because he has stayed the same while everybody else out there is learning a little bit more, thinking a little bit differently, and making adjustments on the fly. And if they're moving towards Donald Trump, which they have, he won the popular vote. That's wild in and of itself. That means that the mainstream media, big time losers in this whole setup. Let's take a quick break. YouTube live chat poll. Do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks? Yes for all of them. Yes for some of them. Or no, you don't. Kathy commented on our YouTube channel, said, I'm with Ryan, not fully in with my yes. I'd be ticked if the Democrats did it, but I also know they would regardless if Trump does it or not. As Annie said about voting, politicians use it and then change it. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Fry Show in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
So we had Katie and Jesse Johnson in recently to talk about that ruling that came out of Judge McGlynn about the firearm limitations that the state of Illinois put on you as a Second Amendment supporter in the state of Illinois. One thing that I talked about when they were in, we kind of went into this conversation about pepper spray. Did you know there's a pepper spray that you can use that, of course, can defend yourself, but will also leave behind a film that will be visible under blacklight? I thought that was the coolest thing ever because it's a way for me to defend myself, even for my children to defend myself, the ones who are old enough and responsible enough to understand how to use something like that. And I thought, wow, that's great. How much does it cost? It was like $12.98 or something. It was super affordable. It's a great stocking stuffer for the holiday season coming up. But it's also a great way to explain how STS Armory, yes, they have firearms. I've purchased multiple firearms from STS Armory. But it's bigger and broader than that. It's self-defense. It's being prepared. They have the answers to these questions. They have the accessories, the safety devices that you need. They also have the answers to the questions that you may have. Visit STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. They are there and ready to take your questions, to answer the questions you might have about acquiring a specific kind of firearm. They're all available to you there online at sts-armory.com.
For the past 3 seasons of Gone South, we've covered one story per season. Now, Gone South is back for a 4th season. But this time, we're doing things a little differently. In Gone South Season 4, we'll be bringing you news stories every week with no end in sight. Listen to and follow Gone South, an Odyssey original podcast, on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com. It's time to book your holiday parties today with Grill Master Tony. Mark Cox here. Grill Master Tony's schedule is starting to fill up. So make your holiday parties easier and tastier with Grill Master Tony for your holidays. It is the season. Choose from brisket or pulled pork or chicken and all the sides, the roasted potatoes, the bourbon baked beans, the French bread from Pete's Italian Bakery on the Hill. Also, don't forget your company parties and your holiday lunches. Visit grillmastertony.com.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The minds and voices that shape America are talking here.
This is Brian Kilmeade. This is Griff Jenkins from Fox News. This is Jimmy Fallon.
Stream it on the Odyssey app.
97.1 FM Talk.
97.1 on the Odyssey app on your phone.
Take a seat. Right over there.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I know we meant all good intentions, so pull me closer.
All right, here we go. It's time to win free tickets to Guns N' Hoses next Wednesday night, the night before Thanksgiving. Here's the phone number if you'd like to win, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. 9797. Be the 11th caller, and you will win a pair of tickets to Guns N' Hoses, sponsored by TR Hughes and Golden Oak Lending. By the way, we are airing that live. If you can't make it that night, listen to it right here on 97.1.
Yeah, Guns N' Hoses is such a cool event. It's such a cool event that St. Louis has done for a really long time, which is, it's cool that we get to be a part of it.
I can almost guarantee, as a person who is not a boxing aficionado or a speaking aficionado, that
Why don't
is
we
going
test
to be,
out your acumen with boxing as well, since we're doing speaking?
Okay, that is going to be better boxing than you saw on Netflix.
Well, here's one of the things, too. This year, they're doing MMA-style bouts. I was looking over the fight card, and there will be a couple MMA-style bouts in there. It won't just be boxing. They'll also do the ground game and all that other stuff.
I got a pretty good ground game. I'll judge that.
Is there any kind of fighting you'd be good at?
Ground game.
Is there any kind of fighting you'd be good at?
No.
Okay. I mean, do you feel if you were on the streets of St. Louis, it's totally possible, and you were to get jumped, what's your reaction to that?
Probably like share a witty barb.
Try to make them laugh, try to win them over.
Be like, oh, using a knife, are we? Check out, I've got this tiger claw or whatever. But then I don't have anything, and they're like, oh, man, you got me.
You need some of that pepper spray.
Yeah. Or just carry around like a pepper shaker. Either one. And because the comedy thing, right? Because I'll be like, oh, you got to watch out. I got this pepper in my pocket. And they're going to assume it's spray. And then I pull out a little pepper shaker. And
it's
they're like, oh, my gosh. We're all having a good time now. Go out for some pizza.
Do you feel like post-election, I was bracing myself quite a bit for what would happen in the event that Trump lost. And now we were having to watch the joyful leftists just bask in the glory of their victory. And I would have spent the holiday season of sorts distracting myself. Do you find yourself wanting to distract yourself at all because you won and you can kind of like let it go for a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. There are so many things that I feel like I can quit worrying about, but I also don't, though, because the minute you go, we'll just let up on this, you have to keep the pedal to the metal, although I've been really encouraged by the administration doing that. I don't get the sense that they are going to relax at all. He's putting together this team of people who, not just the confirmations, the big ones we've been talking about, but he's had, just like you said, actually, Annie, my mom said this to me the other day. She goes, I think Annie's right.
That's so great. We'll go to break.
And I was like, oh, man, Mom, I lost so much respect for you.
That's all right. My dad likes you more than me.
Your dad's cool, though.
Yeah, say that. I don't know if he likes you more than me, but maybe as much. Depends on the day.
Probably a little bit more. We'll just assume.
Maybe not.
Friday poll.
Yeah, Friday poll.
Who does Annie's dad like more, Ryan or Annie?
Brad wins. From behind.
Why did your mom agree with me?
We got to get back to that, huh?
You brought it up.
She agreed with you because she said, I think Annie was right. You said this a couple times, I think before the election, that Trump really is going to be better off having had a break between his terms. Not that America's better off short term. I get that. But longer term, if he's able to make real structural changes, he probably would not have done that in his consecutive second term if he had gotten one. Whereas now the team he's putting together and the priorities with which he's putting them into, it just looks like we're going to get the bulldozer that we needed to big government.
I think the biggest benefit to having lost in 2020 and coming back and winning in 2024 is the trust the American people have decided to put back into Donald Trump. The risk maybe that they've taken, they know that they're taking a risk to support Donald Trump, but it's a choice that they made, an active choice. I really can't imagine what it's like to have been a longstanding, committed Trump hater and to be in this moment right now. Like everything that you've worked so hard for, not only did you not win, it's been an aggressive descent into loss.
Yeah.
And if you have the country's support, again, talking about the Mika and Joe thing, we just find out in the last 48 hours that Comcast is going to spin off MSNBC. Oh, their jobs might be in danger, and they're going to Mar-a-Lago. Things are starting to make sense to me a little bit. They don't do that if they've conceded publicly that Donald Trump has power, but also jurisdiction, that he has the ability to influence their future, and they justified that by going to Mar-a-Lago, which is why Rosie O'Donnell is never going to watch Mika and Joe again. It's weird that I know that. Why do I always watch her videos? I always watch them.
I don't.
I always do.
Okay.
I'm going to make that your responsibility on the show now.
Well, thank you.
Hard pass. When people like Mika and Joe are going to Mar-a-Lago and giving them credit, so to speak, value to be spoken to, that is a culture win for Donald Trump and whatever Donald Trump represents. And a lot of people look at Donald Trump as if he represents different things. Some people look at Donald Trump like he represents the absolute worst of us. And that's when Mika and Joe go to Mar-a-Lago, that they are validating the worst things about us. But we don't see it that way. You know, we even had caller Daryl on before. Says he listens to us every day. Hopefully he's still listening, Daryl. Hi, Daryl. We disagree on things. I don't think Donald Trump is in this for Donald Trump. I don't think Donald Trump minds being in the most powerful position in all the world, but I think he cares. I think that he has vision, and I think he wants to do what it takes to get that vision to come into reality. But I think that Donald Trump, if he gets his second term in 2020, doesn't have Republican control in the House and Senate. It becomes complete and total tumultuous investigations and all of that bull crap that plagued his first term. That continues times whatever in his second term. And everybody's so sick of Donald Trump in 2024 that Gavin Newsom is president right now, or who knows who it might be. The way things went, as if it was God ordained, I'll make some people uncomfortable by saying that. The way it proceeded made it so that in an election, the majority of voters voted for Donald Trump. They voted for what he said he wants to do. They voted for House Republicans who just need one vote majority to be able to get done what Donald Trump wants to do. They gave a 53 Republican majority to the Senate to make sure that they can pass through the things that the House sends to the Senate so that they can go to Donald Trump's desk so that he can sign the things that he said he wanted to do. That's all great. That's all good. But when you win the culture, you win 2028. When you win the culture, when you win the people over, when you get back to the thought that it's not just about politics, because that's what the Democrats have been winning on since since Barack Obama said he wanted to fundamentally transform the United States of America. That was about culture. That was a push to you to dig deep into your heart and find hope and change. That's not policy. That's emotion. And when you want hope and change, they wanted you to be able to see people who weren't like you and not hate them. That's the surface level way of selling it. They wanted to control how you feel about things so they can manipulate what you would do with those feelings. And they were good at it. And they manipulated so many Americans into being quiet about a lot of things that they internally, for whatever particular reason, and in God bless America in this country, you get to feel certain things about certain ways based on whatever your moral structure, wherever you derive that from. For many people, it's religion. For me specifically, it's Christianity. That if you have a Christian faith and a Christian belief in something, they need to beat the sense out of you to speak that out loud. At least if we can keep them quiet, we can win the people who don't have that same moral structure. We can devalue the family. We can devalue the thought of a two-parent home. We can devalue that bootstraps idea where the American dream is to be independent and comfortable and maybe even more. They were able to beat that out of us because of emotions and feelings. And everyone's like, this is costing a lot of money. This is very, very expensive to be this emotionally distraught and angry and offended all of the time. I don't really like this. Why are we going to war? Why are we watching and funding war that doesn't even have our own best interests at heart? Why are we not caring about our main adversaries across the world, what they're doing and how they're lapping us? This is all very, very expensive for me to sit and keep my mouth shut. And I just think I'm kind of tired of it. And they all said in 2024, I'm going to give Donald Trump another try. We tried to do your way. We tried to think your way. We tried to feel your way. And it's just not what's best for the country. And we're going to give the opportunity to someone else. And we are going to have an A and a B test case of the direction America can go. And if Donald Trump does what he said he is going to do, my belief is that there are going to be so many transformed minds that are going to have real-world personal experience, not, well, in Reaganomics, blah, 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 or well, you remember how Jimmy Carter and the price of light bulbs and stuff? These are stories I've heard. I didn't live that. I didn't try to afford light bulbs and my kids' education at the same time. But I did have to do that with Joe Biden's economy, and I don't want to do it anymore. My real-world experience will dictate my politics going forward because I can think for myself, and Donald Trump is the one who wants me to think for myself. And going back to Alan Lichtman and Cenk and, is it Harry Sisson?
Harry.
These people want to do all the thinking for you. And then if you say, I think you're wrong, because you predicted the wrong outcome, they say, how dare you?
They control.
I am a professor.
Stop blaspheming me.
You're blaspheming me?
Yeah.
This is my show. No, it's not, sir. It is now.
I've taken it over. I've published more books than you.
They've controlled
peers.
the levers of power, the message. They've been the messengers for a long time, not just since Barack Obama, but since way before that. And you're right. Most Americans, most people, they don't really want to rock the boat too much. They want to go along. they want to keep the peace. Things can get scary. Everybody wants to have stability. Everybody wants that. How bad did the last 4 years have to be for them to say, actually, let me take the guy who's going to blow it all up?
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad it's been.
And how pervasive it is right now on TMZ, their lower third. On TMZ, is Senator Ted Cruz says Hollywood is out of touch.
And they're kind of smug about it.
I don't know what they're saying about
either.
it, but they're covering it. They're covering it. TMZ is covering Ted Cruz's thoughts on the state of Hollywood. If that's not winning, I don't know what is. YouTube live results, YouTube live chat poll results when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
I'm losing my mind just a little. So why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle.
Lutheran Education, you can find them online at lisastl.org/Annie, LESA. That's Lutheran Elementary School Association, stl.org/Annie. If you are coming up on the end of the first semester, and boy, I don't even like talking about that. Time moves so quickly. If you're coming on the end of your child or your grandchild's first semester of school, and you are constantly, your family's constantly paying attention to what's going on in the classroom, and you're worried about it, and you're having to check in all the time because it's more than education that is being addressed, or it's not a good education, or it's not a good social environment, or whatever it is, I want to encourage you to give a Lutheran school the chance to win you over. Grandparents, a lot of you out there have had associations with Lutheran schools before. And if you go to lisastl.org/Annie, you can make donations. You can make it possible for kids who can't access Lutheran education. You can make it possible for them to be able to do that. But grandparents, also consider your own grandkids. Have a conversation with your family and see if it's something that would maybe solve some of those problems that you've been facing. You will have a stellar education provided to you. You have STEM education, extracurriculars, IEP accommodations, and resources. With 37 elementary schools in the St. Louis metro area in Missouri and Illinois, there is a school near you, and it is affordable. It is accessible. You've probably not looked into it because you didn't want to see something that you thought, I can't make that happen. Yes, you can. Go to their website and learn more today. Lisa, with an E, LESASTL.org/Annie.
Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com wants to remind you that if you pay for your own health insurance, open enrollment ends January 15th. If you are looking for coverage, do not go online looking for quotes. You'll get endless calls from call centers, and they will not stop. Instead, call Greg, an expert with over 40 years' experience, and he can provide sound advice for your health insurance needs. Their plans, if you qualify, let you pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. The monthly premiums are independent of your income, so there will be no surprise tax bills. If you pay for your own health insurance, own a small business, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. They will custom design a plan managed by you, not the government.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This could be your final opportunity to secure the carefree villa home of your dreams at the Preserve in Afton. Free from the hassles of lawn care, landscaping, and snow removal. With prices starting in the 400s, we will build to order or select from one of our 6 move-in ready designer market homes and save thousands. And also receive $10,000 cash to close from the skilled craftsmen of the Mid-America Carpenters Union for closing costs or bite on your interest rate. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE.
You, yes, you. Do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks? It's just what people are going to be talking about around the Thanksgiving table, so let's get ahead of it. Yes for all, yes for some, or no. Do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks? Find it by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube, and today's date will come up along with the live stream. 2:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon getting set to go here on a Wednesday afternoon edition. The Laken Riley verdict came in. In fact, the whole thing just wrapped up very, very quickly. We'll have the very latest on that. We got Kilmeade at 3:25. A very interesting topic about a 10-year-old who walked to a store by himself and the mom was arrested. We're going to talk about that in the 4 o'clock hour. It's all coming up at 3 after Fox News.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Superficial conversation, 'cause our guard is always up. I'm not ready to give up on us yet. One last hurrah, it might just do the trick.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. You got any big wish list items for your Christmas? For you to get for Christmas?
Yes. It's something my wife wants more than me, but it is something that I'm like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool to have.
What? A puppy.
Yes, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. Yes, a puppy's on the list. So, like,
Yeah.
we're gonna check that out and see with the kids' allergies, but it's a bidet.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah. Because we went to Japan in March, and now we're spoiled.
Gosh, I'm going to get asked.
Dude.
Did you guys plan that? And the answer is no. No, because if I would have known that was the answer, I wouldn't have asked the question.
It's true nonetheless. I've already talked to a handyman about getting one installed, and I think, I don't know, we'll see if it happens, because it's kind of a process. You got to get electric to your toilet, so that's a thing. Figuring out all this as we go.
Go on. What's a bidet? What's the benefit?
So
Why
a bidet
a bidet?
shoots water right up into your genitals. And what? That's as far as I understand.
Well, I mean,
how it works. I mean, if you're a boy, I don't think that you need that as much. But I mean, I'm not going to say no.
What are you doing? I don't. I think that maybe a bidet's not what you really want.
I think what I'm looking for is a hose. You just turn that thing on full blast. Ah! There we go. It's gotcha.
What do you? I don't.
That's why we got woods in the backyard. So we can just go back there and do that stuff. Nobody cares.
Josh says, bidets are for your rear, not your front.
I don't know.
I think that's obvious. What are you doing with the bidet? That's not right.
Well, I don't really know. I mean, we went to a lot of public restrooms, and so I was a little hesitant to use the bidets in Japan.
And then that's all you wanted to do.
But, everybody around me is like, oh, man, these things are nice. And I will admit, the heated seats is what I was like, ooh, okay, I can get that. I understand that.
Are you watching The View while you use the bidet?
Man, I can't go into some of these private things that happen. But I can tell you that the bidet was really nice. And I get that I was not using it right. I understand that. But it was because it was a public toilet. So everything that I know is all up here. It's all academic. It's just like if you hire somebody right out of college and you're like, do you have any experience in the industry? No. Okay, well, I'm not as interested because all you know is you all have is head knowledge. I want somebody who's going to get that down there and really lay down the railroad ties. That's me about the bidet.
I didn't listen to anything you said, but I did hear it end with railroad ties. It's for your bum.
I was, I was trying to come up with a funnier way of saying butt, and I think I said genitals.
It's not the same thing.
And it's not the same.
No.
It's just not. I'm also trying to protect my wife's integrity here,
You are not doing a good job.
So I'm trying to make her sound like she's the smart one, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
You should try again.
So she's really interested in one of these very fancy French toilets. Does that sound better?
I don't think your wife is the problem here. You kind of
I didn't say she was the problem.
Caught me off guard here with, what do you want for Christmas? Yuck, yuck. We got 8 minutes to waste on this show. How about a bidet? Well, here we freaking go.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be gross.
About a bidet. But then you said you spray it on your genitals, and that made things make more and less sense at the same time.
You know what I'm just realizing, though? That I've never thought about this because I don't really understand bidets. I'm all academic. I wonder if you could fill the sprayer with like a cologne.
What? No. No.
No?
That'd be not good.
It might burn a little.
Some aftershave.
Like Home Alone. Yeah. But down there. That was in Home Alone.
You do like one of those goofy.
That was in Home Alone 3. Yeah.
I assume. I don't know. I've never tried it.
I've never seen Home Alone 3. Yeah. Because that's what you're saying, right?
Who has?
Yeah, nobody has. People didn't watch it because it was rated
People
X.
only watch Donald Trump and Home Alone 2. That's the only reason to watch that one.
Home Alone 2 was not great.
It wasn't.
It was Lost in New York. And
Home
you're like,
Alone 1
doesn't
is
make any
great.
sense. Why
It's
are Harry and Lloyd there again? Or whatever. Harry and Lloyd. I think that's Dumb and Dumber.
Well, I haven't seen it, so.
You haven't seen Dumb and Dumber?
Harry and Marv.
Harry and Marv. So anyway, what are you getting for Christmas?
Not a bidet.
What is it then? What are you going to get? Just a regular toilet?
I would like to get some couches.
So things you sit on, though. There's a theme here.
You don't sit on the bidet.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't sit on it.
Yeah, we got to get the whole toilet. We're not just getting the seat. You can get the seat on Amazon. We got to get the whole thing, though. We're getting the whole thing.
I would like a couch. It has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to get you the cushions because apparently that's all you care about.
We're constantly trying to fit with 6 full-size people in our family now. It used to be when, Molly's 3, but she's like a full-size kid now. She's not a little baby anymore. We need more seating space because now it's like whoever's in the room last just has to sit on the floor. because we have two, what we call our old people chairs, which is lazy boys. My husband and I each have a chair. And then we have a couch. And then, God forbid, they sit on the couch and have to touch each other. You know, like, you're touching me, that type of a thing. So we're thinking about getting 2 couches. I need good recommendations on good Black Friday sales for couches.
I do have a recommendation.
Yeah?
Save you some money, too.
Yeah?
Instead of getting a new couch, just throw a beanbag chair on the floor.
No, it doesn't work because somebody has to have that chair. Or even worse, everybody wants that chair. And then it's just fighting.
Get 2 beanbags.
How about a couch?
5 beanbags.
Brad, Christmas gifts?
Gosh, I don't even know how to follow that. One of the things that I would really like.
I'd like a new tie.
Yeah. No, I've been wanting a lever action rifle for quite some time now. And, you know, it's.
Is that like my Henry?
Yeah, I think so.
22.
Can you sit on it?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Because there was a theme here,
like,
and now
can you? Sure.
there
Would
was
I?
no
No.
theme.
And I wouldn't aim it at what you're aiming the bidet at either. But I want one with a 357 Magnum and the 357 Magnum caliber, and that's kind of what I've been thinking about a lot in the last 2-3 months.
Any gifts you're excited to give?
the bidet, mainly. But man, if we get that puppy, people are gonna lose
It's
their
a
minds.
rough segment to have 1 extra minute to. Or not. Every 56.50?
Yes.
Okay.
Just
never
play
mind.
us out.
Good thing, because I thought we were
Yeah.
57.50.
Let's just do a live for somebody that doesn't exist.
I'm going to do that if I have to. YouTube live chat poll for today. Do you support recess appointment confirmations for Trump's cabinet picks? I read a lot of your thoughts on this on the air throughout the course of the show. Yes for all of them, yes for some of them, or no, you don't. Ryan and Brad were both no's. I was yes for some, with some stipulations. 19% voted no, so you guys are in the minority. 36% yes for some, and 45% of the voters today said yes for all of them. Woo! That is quite inverted from what we had said. Let's see what Mark Reardon has to say coming up next on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Are you a business owner looking to grow and succeed? The St. Charles Regional Chamber is here to help. I'm Scott Tate, President and CEO. As the region's largest chamber with nearly 1,200 members, we offer networking, marketing resources, educational programs, and more to support your business. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or starting out, we have the right membership option for you. Explore our investor levels for exclusive benefits or try our free basic membership. For more information, visit stcharlesregionalchamber.com.
Wow, this year has flown by, and now you're planning to sell your home. You know, like you, most families have been waiting on the sidelines. Well, now the timing is better, but you still have questions, right? Hey, Mark Cox here from my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria Liu for years now. Why? Because Gloria Liu is St. Louis real estate expert, and if you have a home to sell, you need to get to know her like I have. I've seen her systems, her guarantees. I've even met her clients. In fact, I'm also a client. She's different than any other realtor, and if you need help selling your home for the